Syncytium, a mass of cytoplasm containing many nuclei, a multinucleate cell resulting from cell fusions of mononuclear cells, for example, the cells that make up animal skeletal muscle. Abbreviation of syndicate. Syndactyle, alternative form of syndactyle. Syndactyle, any bird with syndactylous feet. Syndactyles, plural of syndactyle. Syndactylic, syndactylous. Syndactyles, plural of syndactyly. Syndactylism, synonym of syndactyly. Syndactylisms, plural of syndactylism. Syndactylous, having the toes firmly joined together for a long distance and not webbed. Syndactyles, plural of syndactyle. Syndactyly, the normal condition in some animals and birds of having fused digits. Syndapen, any of a family of membrane-active scaffold proteins that participate in anisotoses. Syndapens, plural of syndapin. Syndakin, any of a class of single transmembrane domain proteins thought to act as coreceptors, especially for G-protein coupled receptors. Syndacins, plural of syndakin. Syndactomy, peridomy. Syndeformational, occurring simultaneously with crustal deformation. Syndeglacial, occurring at the same time as deglaciation. Syndemic, an aggregation of two or more diseases that interact synergistically within a population. Syndemically, in a syndemic manner. Syndemicity, the condition of being syndemic. Syndemics, plural of syndemic. Syndepositional, occurring at the same time as deposition. Syndepositionally, in a syndepositional fashion. By means of syndeposition. Cinder, a surname. Cindercombe, a surname from Old English. Cindercombs, plural of cindercombe. Cinderesis, alternative form of cinderesis. Cinderetic, relating to cinderesis. Cinders, plural of cinder. Syndices, plural of syndices. Syndices, synonym of arthrodesis, the artificial fusion of a joint between two or more bones. Syndesmo, ligament. Syndesmocarial, describing a placenta in which the chorion is attached to the endometrium. Syndesmography, desmology, study of the ligaments. Syndesmological, relating to syndesmology. Syndesmology, the branch of anatomy that deals with ligaments. Syndesmophyte, a bony growth originating inside a ligament. Syndesmophytes, plural of syndesmophyte. Syndesmosis, plural of syndesmosis. Syndesmosis is slightly movable articulation or joint where the contiguous bony surfaces are rough and are united by an interosseous ligament, for example between the fibula and tibia at the ankle. Syndesmotic, relating to syndesmosis. Syndesmotically, by means of a syndesmosis or of syndesmosis. Syndesmotomies, plural of syndesmotomy. Syndesmotomy, the section of the ligaments. Synd, a synthetic detergent as opposed to a natural soap. Syndeta, plural of syndeton. Syndetic, of or related to syndeton, the use of a conjunction. Syndetical, synonym of syndetic. Syndetically, in a syndetic way, employing syndeton, using a conjunction or cross-references. Syndeticity, the state or quality of being syndetic, particularly. Syndetome, the dorsolateral part of an embryonic somite. Syndetomes, plural of syndetome. Syndeton, the use of conjunctions or conjunctive structures to connect words, phrases, etc. Syndetons, plural of syndeton. Syndets, plural of syndet. Syndiagenetic, happening at the same time as diagenesis, the changes sediment goes through during and after lithification. Syndic, a government official having different duties depending on the country. Also, a magistrate, especially one of the chief magistrates of Geneva, Switzerland. Syndical, of or pertaining to a syndicate. Syndicalism, control of both industry and government by labor unions, especially as achieved through revolutionary direct action, advocacy for attempts to bring it about. Syndicalisms, plural of syndicalism. Syndicalist, a believer in the principles of syndicalism. Syndicalists, plural of syndicalists. Syndically, in a syndical manner, as a syndicate. Syndicate, a group of individuals or companies formed to transact some specific business or to promote a common interest, a self-coordinating group. Syndicated, simple past and past participle of syndicate. Syndicates, plural of syndicate. Syndicating, present participle and gerund of syndicate. Syndication, the act of syndicating a news feature by publishing it in multiple newspapers, etc., simultaneously. Syndication agencies, plural of syndication agency. Syndication agency, a news agency. Syndication feed, synonym of RSS feed. Syndication feeds, plural of syndication feed. Syndications, plural of syndication. Syndicator, one who or that which syndicates. Syndicators, plural of syndicator. Syndic, obsolete spelling of syndic. Syndex, plural of syndic. Syndex, plural of syndic. Syndicship, the role or status of syndic. Syndicships, plural of syndicship. Syndinian, a dinoflagellate of the class Syndinia. Syndinians, plural of syndinian. Syndiactic, having substituents arranged in alternating rather than random configuration in each repeat unit. Syndiactically, in a syndiactic manner. Syndacticity, the condition of being syndiactic. Syndactoctoi, mostly syndiactic. Syndoch, alternative spelling of synecdoch. Syndoches, plural of syndoch. Syndonia, a female given name. Syndromal, of or relating to a syndrome. Syndromally, in syndromal terms. Syndromatic, relating to or based upon symptoms. Syndromatology, the study of syndromes. Syndrome, a recognizable pattern of signs, symptoms, and or behaviors, especially of a disease or medical or psychological condition. Syndrome of subjective doubles, a rare delusion in which a person believes they have a doppelganger that looks identical but usually has different character traits and a life of its own. Syndrome without a name. The situation where a child or young adult is believed to have a genetic disorder, but its cause cannot be identified by testing. Syndrome X. Metabolic syndrome. Syndromed. Suffering from a syndrome. Syndromes. Plural of syndrome. Syndromic. Relating to a syndrome. Syndromically. In terms of a syndrome. Syndromics. The study of syndromes. Syndromology. Alternative form of syndromatology. Synthro. An electronic drum which produces synthesized percussion sounds. Syndromes. Plural of syndrome. Sens. Plural of sin. Syndiasmin. Pertaining to the state of pairing together sexually, said of animals during periods of procreation and while rearing their offspring. Syndiaste. Related to coupleship, the requirement to realize intimacy with a partner. Syndynamic. Relating to dynamics. Sign. Subsequently, them. Synecdocho. Synonym of synecdochical. Synecdochally. In a synecdochal manner. Synecdoch. A figure of speech that uses the name of a part of something to represent the whole, or the whole to represent a part, or a specific kind or instance to represent the general category, or the general category to represent a specific kind or instance, or the constituent material to represent the thing made from it. Synecdoches. Plural of synecdoch. Synecdochic. Synonym of synecdochical. Synecdochical. Of, relating to, or exhibiting synecdoch. Synecdochically. In a synecdochical manner. Synecdoches. Plural of synecdochi. Synecdochization. Alternative form of synecdochization. Synecdochizations. Plural of synecdochization. Synecdochize. Alternative form of synecdochize. Synecdochized. Simple past and past participle of synecdochize. Synecdochizes. Third person singular simple present indicative of synecdochize. Synecdochizing. Present participle and gerund of synecdochize. Synecdochism. The use of synecdoch. Synecdochus. One who uses synecdoch. Synecdochus. Plural of synecdochus. Synecdochization. The act of synecdochizing. Synecdochizations. Plural of synecdochization. Synecdochize. To represent with or as if with a synecdoch. Synecdochized. Simple past and past participle of synecdochize. Synecdochizes. Third person singular simple present indicative of synecdochize. Synecdochizing. Present participle and gerund of synecdochize. Synecdochi. The use of a synecdoch. Synecdoch. Obsolete spelling of synecdoch. Synecdoches. Plural of synecdoch. Synegia. An eye condition in which the iris is used either to the cornea anterior synechia or to the lens posterior synechia. Synechia. Plural of synechia. Synechio. Relating to synechia. Synechialysis. Misspelling of synechialysis. Synechias. Plural of synechia. Synechiality. alternative form of synecology. Synegalysis, correction of a synechia. Synegatemies, plural of synechiotomy. Synechiotomy, incision into the eye to correct a synechia. Synenchism, the tendency to regard things such as space, time, and law as continuous. Synenges, a proponent of Synechism. Synegestic, relating to Synechism. Synegests, plural of Synekes. Synechabactin, any of a group of Cytotrophs present in the Cytococcus cytobacteria. Synechabactins, plural of Synechabactin. Synechococcal, relating to Synechococcus bacteria. Synecological, relating to synecology. Synecology, the metaphysical doctrine of the connection of things by causation. Synechoxanthin, an aromatic carotenoid in the Cyanobacterium synechococcus. Synoecious, alternative spelling of Synocious. Synocism, alternative spelling of Synocism. Synocisms, plural of cynicism. Syneclize, a large, shallow depression formed on a continental platform due to slow subsidence. Syneclizes, plural of syneclize. Synecologic, synecological. Synecological, relating to synecology. Synecologically, regarding synecology. Synecologies, plural of synecology. Synecologist, someone who practices or supports synecology. Synecologist, plural of synecologists. Synecology, one of two broad subdivisions of ecology, the OB, autocology, meaning the study of groups of organisms associated as a unit, essentially a biological community. Synecphoneses, plural of synecphonses. Synecphonses, a contraction of two syllables into one, syneaces. Synechron, an organism that lives in the home of another organism in order to exploit it and is treated with hostility or indifference. Synectrons, plural of synecthron. Synaptic, relating to synectics. Syactics, a problem-solving methodology that stimulates thought processes of which the subject may be unaware. Synexin, a cytoplasmic domain-binding protein that inhibits cell migration. Synedria, plural of synedrian. Synedrial, relating to a synedrian. Synedrian, an assembly that holds formal sessions. Synedrium, alternative form of synedrian. Synesactism, alternative form of synesactism. Synesactism, the practice, from early Christian until medieval times, of a man and woman living together in a non-legalized relationship while observing vows of chastity. Synonyko, a city and reign of Dnipropetrovsk Oblast in central Ukraine. Cynema, the column of combined filaments in a monoapophis flower. Cynamin, an intermediate filament that localizes at the Z-disc and has been shown to bind to alpha-dystrobrevin alpha-actinin and desmin to act as a mechanical linker in transmitting force laterally throughout the tissue, especially between the contractile myofibrils and extracellular matrix. Synendemic, relating to a syndemic. Synephrine, the alkaloid 4,1-hydroxy-2-methylaminoethylphenol whose M-substituted analog, neosynephrine, is used in pharmaceuticals. Cyanhydrocardiol, synonym of epithaliocardiol. Cynaresis, plural of cynaresis. Cynaresis, alternative spelling of syneresis. Synergetic, relating to synergetics. Synergetically, synergistically. Synergetics, a school of thought on thinking and geometry developed by Buckminster Fuller. Synergy, of or pertaining to synergy. Synergistic, synergically, in a synergic manner. Synergy, to make is nucleated cell at the top of the embryo sac recovery with the use of the production of the embryo. Synergeds, plural of synergid. Synergies, plural of synergy. Synergize, alternative spelling of synergize. Synergize, simple past and past participle of synergize. Synergizes, third person singular simple present indicative of synergize. Synergizing, present participle and gerund of synergize. Synergism, synergy. Synergisms, plural of synergism. Synergist, any synergistic agent. Synergistic, of or pertaining to synergy or synergism, synergic, cooperative, working together, interacting, mutually stimulating. Synergistical, synonym of synergistic. Synergistically, in a synergistic manner. Synergists, plural of synergists. Synergize, to act as a synergetic agent. Synergize, simple past and past participle of synergize. Synergizer, anything that synergizes. Synergizers, plural of synergizer. Synergizes, third person singular simple present indicative of synergize. Synergizing, present participle and gerund of synergize. Synergoimetropic, misspelling of synergoinotropic. Synergy, a synonym of binding energy. Syneruptive, at the time of an eruption. Syneruptively, in a syneruptive manner, occurring during the time of a volcanic eruption. Synesis, plural of synesis. Synesis, a grammatical construction in which a word takes the gender or number not of the word with which it should regularly agree, but of some other implied word, as in, if the band are popular, they will play next month. Synesthesia, alternative spelling of synesthesia. Synesthesiac, someone with synesthesia. Synesthesiacs, plural of synesthesiac. Synesthesias, plural of synesthesia. Synesthete, alternative spelling of synesthete. Synesthetes, plural of synesthete. Synesthetic, alternative spelling of synesthetic. Synesthetically, alternative form of synesthetically. Synestia, a donut-shaped body of vaporized and molten rock formed from the collision of two planet-sized objects. Synestias, plural of synestia. Synetic, of or relating to synesis. Synexin, a particular adrenal medullary protein involved in calcium metabolism. Synexins, plural of synexin. Synexpression, the coordinated expression of separate genes that have the same function. Synextensional, occurring simultaneously with crustal extension. Synenthesis, alternative form of synesis. Synfibrosis, the connection of bones by means of fibrous tissue. Synfire, being or relating to a feed-forward network of neurons with multiple layers or pools, where neural impulses propagate synchronously back and forth from layer to layer. Synfly, a denial of service attack in which the attacker sends a succession of SYN synchronization requests to the target system in an attempt to consume its resources and make the system unresponsive to legitimate traffic. Synflade, simple past and past participle of synflood. Synflooding, present participle and gerund of synflood. Synfloods, plural of synflood. Synfluorescence, a compound inflorescence. Synflorescences, plural of synfluorescence. Semform, a topographic feature which is composed of sedimentary layers in a concave formation, but may not actually form a real syncline, i.e. the youngest rocks may not be exposed in the middle. Synformal, relating to a synform. Synforms, plural of synform. Synfuel, any of several fuels synthesized from coal or shale, etc., or fermented from grain, etc. Synfuels, plural of synfuel. Syngemen, a grouping of genetically related organisms that may or may not be morphologically similar and are recognized by systematists as being in different species or subspecies and may even belong to different genera. Syngamens, plural of syngamen. Syngamic, relating to syngamy. Syngamed, any in the family Syngamidae of nematodes. Syngameds, plural of syngamid. Syngamas, exhibiting or pertaining to syngamy. Syngamy, the fusion of two gametes to form a zygote. Synganglia, plural of synganglion. Synganglial, relating to a synganglion. Synganglion, a nerve mass located near the esophagus in certain ticks. Syngas, synthesis gas or coal gas. Syngases, plural of syngas. Thud, a surname. Syngenesis, alternative form of syngenesius. Syngeneic, genetically identical or sufficiently identical and immunologically compatible as to allow for transplantation. Syngeneic transplantation, a transplantation in which donor and receiver are genetically identical twins. Syngeneic transplantations, plural of syngeneic transplantation. Syngeneically, in a syngeneic manner. Syntymation, syngenesius, synanthorus. Syngenesiac hensplan, a syngeneic transplant. Syngenesia transplantation, syngeneic transplantation. Syngenesia transplantations, plural of syngenesia transplantation. Syngenesiac transplants, plural of syngenesia transplant. Syngenesias, synanthorus. Syngenesis, the genetic origin of an individual derived from material from both parents by sexual reproduction. Syngenetic, of, pertaining to, or arising from syngenesis. Syngenic, syngeneic, syngenite, and evaporite, consisting of a mixed potassium and calcium sulfate. Synaptia, a congenital adhesion of the maxilla and mandible by fibrous bands. Cygnethid, any member of the family Cynethidae of seahorses, sea dragons, and pipefish, all with fused jaws. Cynethids, plural of cygnethid. Cygnethiform, Any fish of the order Sygnathiformes. Sygnathiformes, plural of Sygnathiform. Sygnahas, relating to the order Sygnathiformes, sometimes suborder Sygnathoidae or Sygnathi of pipefishes and close relatives. Syngraft, isograph. Syngrafts, plural of syngraft. Syngraph, a document signed by both or all of the parties to a contract or bond. Syngraphs, plural of syngraph. Synharmonic, of or pertaining to synharmony. Synharmonically, in a synharmonic manner. Synharmony, the Papia being Ecovel. Synhedria, plural of synhedrian. Synhedrian, alternative form of synhedrian. Synexcel, synonym of parahexel. Synhymium, a hypostomial frange. Synesonym, any of a set of names that share a basionium. Synesonyms, plural of synesonym. Syniases, plural of syniases. Syniases, a poetic figure of speech in which two consecutive vowel sounds in the same word are pronounced as a single phoneme so that certain words adhere to a particular poetic meter. Syniatic, resulting from syniases. Syndea, plural of syncaien. Syndien, a cell nucleus formed by the fusion of two pre-existing nuclei such as in an egg and a sperm cell. Syngaians, plural of syncaien. Synkinematic, synonym of synorogenic. Synkinematically, in a synkinematic manner. Synkinesis, plural of synkinesis. Synkinesia, synonym of synkinesis. Synkinesias, plural of synkinesia. Synkinesis, the involuntary movement of one body part when moving another. Synkinetic, of or relating to synkinesia. Synkinetically, in a synkinetic manner, by synkinesia. Synlisted, any damselfly in the family Synlistidae. Synmustids, plural of synlisted. Synmagmatic, occurring during the same time period as magmatic activity. Synmetamorphic, occurring during the same time period as metamorphism. The obsolete spelling of syn. Synoma, a large, erect reproductive structure in some fungi, bearing compact conidiophores that fuse together to form a strand with conidia at the end or on the edges. Cinemata, plural of cinema. Cinematas, relating to cinemata. Tis, plural of sin. Cineroses, plural of cinerosis. Cineroses, syndesmosis. Synoses, the mutual orientation and adherence of crystals in a fluid to form phenocrysts. Cinerae, synonym of calcilite cyanite. Cyno, any member of the genus Cynodontes of catfishes. Cynacha, cynaceous, continuous fever. Cynachal, of or pertaining to cynacha, like cynacha. Cynachoi, cynachal. Cynicrate, uniting together on the opposite side of the stem from the leaf and enclosing the stem in a sheath of stipules. Cynaceous, a continuous fever. Cynocell, a sense organ found in certain sponges consisting of several filaments, each arising from a single cell. Cinna cells, plural of cinnacyl. Synocracy, ruled by consensus. Synod, an ecclesiastic council or meeting to consult on church matters. Synodal, a tribute in money formerly paid to the bishop or archdeacon at the time of his Easter visitation by every parish priest, now made to the ecclesiastical commissioners, a procuration. Synodalities, plural of synodality. Synodality, the quality or style of a synod, fraternal collaboration and discernment as typified in a synod. Synodali, by means of a synod. Synodals, plural of synodal. Synodic, of, related to or produced by a synod, synodal. Synodic month, a month of approximately 29.53 days, measured from a lunar phase until the return of that same phase. The long-term average duration is 29.530588 days, 29d12 h44 min 2.8 s, or about 29.5 days. Synodic months, plural of synodic month. Synodic period, the apparent orbital period of a planet as seen from Earth, the period between two consecutive conjunctions or oppositions of a given planet with Earth. Synodic periods, plural of synodic period. Synodic time, synonym of synodic period. Synodic times, plural of synodic time. Synodical, synodic. Synodically, in a synodical manner, in a synod, by the authority of a synod. Synodos, an adherent to or member of a synod. Synodests, plural of synodus. Synodot, any member of the genus Synodontes of catfishes. Synodontid, any fish in the family Synodontidae, the lizardfishes. Synodontids, plural of synodontid. Synodonts, plural of synodont. Synods, plural of synod. Synodsman, a member of a church synod. Synodsmen, plural of synodsmen. Synostosis, synonym of aneniosis. Synocious, with male and female organs in the same structure. Synosize, alternative form of synosize. Synosized, simple past and past participle of synosize. Synosizes, third person singular simple present indicative of synosize. Synosizing, present participle and gerund of synosize. Synocism, the unification of towns, tribes, etc. under one capital city or polis. Synocisms, plural of synocism. Synosize, to join diverse things together. Synosized, simple past and past participle of synosize. Synosizes, third person singular simple present indicative of synosize. Synosizing, present participle and gerund of synosize. Synosy, the condition of being synocious. Synokete, any Myrmecophilous insect that does not interact with the host insects. Synochetes, plural of synokete. Synoicus, synocious. Cinnamon, any substance produced by an individual of one species that benefits both the producer and the recipient which is of a different species. Cinnamons, plural of cinnamon. Cinemacies, plural of cinemacy. Cinemacy, a group of political or other conspirators bound together by oath, a secret society. Synonym, obsolete form of synonym. Synonyms, plural of synonym. Synonymizing, misspelling of synonymizing. Synonymously, obsolete spelling of synonymously. Synonym, a word or term whose meaning is the same as that of another. Synonym ring, synonym of synset. Synonym rings, plural of synonym ring. Synonyma, synonyms. Synonymal, synonymous. Synonymatic, synonymous. Synonym, archaic form of synonym. Synonyms, plural of synonym. Synonymia, the use of two or more synonyms together to amplify or explain a given subject or term, a kind of repetition that adds force. Synonymic, plural of synonymia. Synonymic, of relating to or being a synonym. Synonymical, synonymic. Synonymically, in a synonymic manner. Synonymicon, synonym of thesaurus. Synonymicons, plural of synonymicon. Synonymics, synonym of synonymy, the study of synonyms. Synonymies, plural of synonymy. Synonymification, the collapsing together of more or less synonymous words into one common linguistic category. Synonymization, alternative form of synonymization. Synonymizations, plural of synonymization. Synonymize, alternative form of synonymize. Synonymized, simple past and past participle of synonymize. Synonymizer, alternative spelling of synonymizer. Synonymizers, plural of synonymizer. Synonymizes, third person singular simple present indicative of synonymize. Synonymizing, present participle and gerund of synonymize. Synonymous, a person who studies synonyms. Synonymists, plural of synonymous. Synonymities, plural of synonymity. Synonymity, the state of being a synonym. Synonymization, the action or the result of synonymizing, especially if taxa. Synonymizations, plural of synonymization. Synonymize, to express by a synonym or synonyms. Synonymized, simple past and past participle of synonymize. Synonymizer, a person who uses synonyms, especially one who curates collections of them. Synonymizers, plural of synonymizer. Synonymizes, third person singular simple present indicative of synonymize. Plural of synonymizer. Synonymizes, third person singular simple present indicative of synonymize. Synonymizing, present participle and gerund of synonymize. Synonymless, having no synonyms. Synonymomania, a tendency to refer to the same thing successively by a number of synonyms to avoid repetition. Synonymous, having an identical meaning. Synonymously, in a synonymous way. Synonymousness, the quality of being synonymous. Synonyms, plural of synonym. Synonymum, synonym. Synonymums, plural of synonymum. Synonymy, the quality of being synonymous, sameness of meaning. Abbreviation of synopsis. Synophrys, the condition in which the eyebrows grow together. Synophthalmia, fusion of the eyes as in cyclopia. Synophthalmic, exhibiting or relating to synophthalmia. Synopsos, plural of synopsis. Synopsia, the form of synesthesia where hearing sound induces the perception of color. Synopsis, a brief summary of the major points of a written work, either as prose or as a table, an abridgment or condensation of a work. Synopsize, alternative form of synopsize. Synopsize, simple past and past participle of synopsize. Synopsizes, third person singular simple present indicative of synopsize. Synopsizing, present participle and gerund of synopsize. Synopsize, to give a synopsis summary of. Synopsize, simple past and past participle of synopsize. Synopsizes, third person singular simple present indicative of synopsize. Synopsizing, present participle and gerund of synopsize. Synopte, relating to the first three Gospels of the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, which are similar in style and content. Synoptic climatology, the science of describing an entire weather situation at a specific location. Synoptical, synopte, synoptically, in a synoptic manner. Synapticity, the condition of being synaptic. Synoptics, plural of synoptic. Synoptes, an author of one of the synoptic Gospels, that is, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Synoptists, plural of synoptists. Synaptophore, an ophthalmic device that allows a stimulus to be presented to both eyes simultaneously. Synaptophores, plural of synaptophore. Synaptosomal, misspelling of synaptosomal. Synorchidism, synonym of synorchism. Synorchism, union or fusion of the testes. Synorhizis, having a radical whose point is united to the albumen. Synorogenic, alternative form of synorogenic. Synorogenic, describing any process that accompanies an orogenic one. Synos, plural of syno. Synesthesis, plural of synesthesis. Synesthesis, dated form of synestosis. Synesthetic, dated form of synestotic. Synesthetomy, the dissection of the joints. Synestost, fused to form a single bone. Synestosis, plural of synestosis. Synestoseo, relating to synestosis. Synestosis, the fusion of adjacent bones by the growth of a bony material. Synestotic, exhibiting or relating to synestosis. Synestatical, archaic form of synestotic. Synestotically, by means of synestosis. Synetaxid, any spider in the family Synetaxidae. Synetaxids, plural of synetaxid. Synovectomies, plural of synovectomy. Synoctomize, to perform a synovectomy. Synoctomized, simple past and past participle of synoctomize. Synoptimize. To perform a synovectomy. Synoptimized. Simple past and past participle of synoptimize. Synoptimize. Alternative form of synoptimize. Synoptimized. Simple past and past participle of synoptimize. Synovectomy. Joint lining removal. Synovia. Plural of synovium. Synovial. Relating to or denoting a type of joint which is surrounded by a thick flexible membrane forming a sac into which is secreted a viscous fluid that lubricates the joint. Synovial capsule. A closed cavity of synovial membrane situated between the articular surfaces at diastrodal free-moving joints. Synovial capsules. Plural of synovial capsule. Synovial fluid. A transparent, viscous, non-Newtonian lubricating fluid which is found in the cavities of synovial joints or bursae and secreted by the synovial membrane. Its main purpose is to reduce friction between the articular cartilage of synovial joints during movement. Synovial fluids. Plural of synovial fluid. Synovial membrane. A thin membrane that lines the ligamentous surfaces of joint capsules, tendon sheaths where free movement is necessary, and bursae. It is composed of dense connective tissue and secretes synovial fluid. Synovial membranes. Plural of synovial membrane. Synovias. Plural of synovia. Synovigenesis. The production of eggs throughout a mature insect's life cycle. Synovigenic. Relating to synovigenesis. Synovin. The mucin found in synovia. Synoval. Synoval. Synoviascentesis. Synthesis of the synovial membrane. Synoviacyte. A form of fibroblast cell that occurs in the synovial membrane. Synoviacytes. Plural of synoviocyte. Synovioma. A tumor of the synovial tissue. Synoviomas. Plural of synovioma. Synoviomata. Plural of synovioma. Synoviopathies. Plural of synoviopathy. Synoviopathy. A disorder of the synovial membrane. Synovirthasis. Treatment of synovitis by the injection of a pharmacological agent into a joint. Synoviparous. Producing or secreting synovia. Synovitic. Of or relating to synovitis. Synovitides. Plural of synovitis. Synovitis. Inflammation of the synovium. Synovium. Alternative form of synovial membrane. Synoviums. Plural of synovium. Syndomus. Alternative form of sympalmus. Synperiplanar. Describing a torsion angle between 0 degrees and 30 degrees. Synpedalus. Gamoptilus. Synpharyngitic. Occurring intercurrently with an episode of pharyngitis. Synthase. That have the same or close phase, that have phase difference of about 0. Centolon. Any of a class of proteins, a mutated form of which is implicated in Parkinson's disease. Synplanarity. The quality of being synplanar. Symplesiomorphy. Misspelling of symplesiomorphy. Symputonic. Occurring during the formation of a pluton. Synpolydactyly. The joint presentation of syndactyly and polydactyly. Synrhabdosome. A cluster of rhabdosomes in a grappillite colony. Synrhabdosomes. Plural of synrhabdosome. Synneret. sedimentary deposition of rocks during an extensional geological regime. Semlai, a hard, dense, black solid made from titanate minerals used for safely storing radioactive waste. Semrox, plural of synrock. Tes, plural of sin, alternative form of sins. Synsacra, plural of synsacrum. Synsacral, of or relating to the synsacrum. Synsacrum, the bone in birds composed of the sacrum and some lumbar or caudal vertebrae fused together. Synsacrums, plural of synsacrum. Synsedimentarily, in a synsedimentary manner. Synsedimentary, that forms or grows within a sediment during sedimentation. Synsemantic, having a meaning only when in the company of other words. Synsaholas, jamos bolus. Sensa, a set of one or more synonyms that are interchangeable in some context without changing the truth value of the proposition in which they are embedded. Sensats, plural of sensat. Senstatin, a peptide derived from syndekin that disrupts the interaction of integrins. Synstigmatic, having the pollen mass furnished with a retinaculum by which it adheres to the stigma, as in orchids. Synsystematic, relating to synsystematics. Initialism of see you next time. Syntases, plural of syntax. Syntactic, of, related to, or connected with syntax. Syntactic expletive, a pronoun that is used at the start of a sentence or clause when the referent is not immediately known, but an argument for the verb is syntactically required. Syntactic expletives, plural of syntactic expletive. Syntactic middle voice, a form of a middle voice in which the sentence construction requires an adverbial adjunct of some kind. Syntactic salt, additions to a programming language that make it harder to write bad code. Syntactic sugar, additions to the syntax of a programming language that make code easier for humans to read or write, but that do not change the functionality or expressiveness of the language. Syntactical, syntactic, related to syntax. Syntacticality, the quality of being syntactical. Syntactically, according to the rules of syntax. Syntactician, one who studies syntax, especially a linguist who does so expertly. Syntacticians, plural of syntactician. Syntacticize, to make syntactic. Syntacticize, simple past and past participle of syntacticize. Syntacticizes, third person singular simple present indicative of syntacticize. Syntacticizing, present participle and gerund of syntacticize. Syntacticism, an approach that focuses on syntax. Syntactices, synonym of syntactician. Syntactices, plural of syntacticis. Syntacticization, the act or process of, or an instance of, syntacticizing. Syntacticizations, plural of syntacticization. Syntacticize, to make syntactic. Syntacticize, simple past and past participle of syntacticize. Syntacticizes, third person singular simple present indicative of syntacticize. Syntacticizing, present participle and gerund of syntacticize. Syntacticocentric, focused on the syntactic component of grammar. Syntacticosemantic, relating to syntax and meaning. Syntactics. Syntax. Syntactocentric. Exhibiting or relating to syntactocentrism. Syntactocentrism. A focus on the role of syntax in language. Syntagm. Alternative form of syntagma. Syntagma. A constituent segment within a text, such as a word or a phrase that forms a syntactic unit. Syntagmas. Plural of syntagma. Syntagmata. Plural of syntagma. Syntagmatarchies. Plural of syntagmatarchy. Syntagmatarchy. A square formation of 256 soldiers arranged into 16 files, 16 ranks deep, led by a syntagmatarch, as syntagma. Syntagmatic. Of or pertaining to a syntagma. Syntagmatically. In a syntagmatic way. Syntagmatae. A basaltic variety of hornblende. Syntagmatites. Plural of syntagmatite. Syntagmeme. A syntactic construction viewed as a sequence of its tagmemes. Syntagmemes. Plural of syntagmeme. Syntagmamic. A syntactic construction viewed as a sequence of its tagmemes. Syntagmemes. Plural of syntagmeme. Syntagmamic. Pertaining to syntagmemes. Syntagmamically. In a syntagmamic way. Syntagmic. Syntagmatic. Syntagms. Plural of syntam. Syntalities. Plural of syntality. Syntality. The collective psychological traits of a group analogous to the personality of an individual. Synton. A synthetic tannin. Syntons. Plural of synton. Syntaphyllin. An axonal mitochondrial protein that disrupts synapse activity. Syntax. A set of rules that govern how words are combined to form phrases and sentences. Syntax error. An error in the syntax of a sequence of characters or tokens that is intended to be written in a particular programming language. Syntax errors. Plural of syntax error. Syntax highlighting. Highlighting of source code with color, bold-facing, etc. to indicate its syntactic structure. Syntax tree. Synonym of parse tree more commonly used in theoretical syntax. Syntax trees. Plural of syntax tree. Syntaxa. Plural of syntaxon. Syntaxeme. A basic semantic syntactical element of a language. Syntaxemes. Plural of syntaxeme. Syntaxes. Plural of syntax. Syntaxial. Relating to or displaying syntaxy. Syntaxially. In a syntaxial manner. Syntaxan. Any of various proteins participating in exocytosis. Syntaxans. Plural of syntaxin. Syntaxis. Syntax. Syntaxes. One who studies syntax. Syntaxes. Plural of syntaxes. Syntaxless. Devoid of syntax. Syntaxon. In phytosociology, a conceptual unit of vegetation comprising a combination of plant taxa. Syntaxonomic. Relating to syntaxonomy. Syntaxonomical. Alternative form of syntaxonomic. Syntaxonomies. Plural of syntaxonomy. Syntaxonomy. A classification system based on syntaxa. Syntaxy. An overgrowth in which both the original crystal and the crystal growing on it have the same orientation. Syntactic. Relating to Syntaxis. Syntactical, relating to syntaxis. Syntaktoi, describing the isothermal reversible transformation of two solid phases into a single phase upon cooling. Syntactonic, describing any process that accompanies a tectonic one. Syntelencephaly, a mild form of holoprosencephaly. Syntella, describing a chromosome orientation in which both sister kintochores are attached to the same spindle. Syntellically, in a syntelic manner. Centilla, any beetle in the family Centilliae. Centilla, plural of Centilliae. Scintillar, any of two or more homologous gene sequences found in different species that have a common ancestor. Scintillogs, plural of scintillar. Xintang, synonym of Jaintia Indian tribe. Syntenic, located on the same chromosome. Syntenically, in a syntenic manner. Syntenese, plural of synteny. Syntonin, a protein that binds the cytoplasmic C-terminal FYA motif of the syndicins. Syntonins, plural of syntonin. Syntonas, synonym of syntenic. Synteny, the condition of being located on the same chromosome or region of genome. Syntaboas, having fused tepals. Syneresis, an aspect of one's conscience by which one can judge wrong from right and decide on what makes good conduct as distinguished from synedesis. Synteretic, preserving health, prophylactic. Syntergi, a structure in some flies composed of several fused tergites. Syntergites. Plural of syntergi. Syntergosternite, an abdominal plate found on some arthropods believed to have evolved by the fusion of one or more tergites with a sternite. Syntergosternites, plural of syntergosternite. Syndexis, a change in the structure of magma by melting or the assimilation of a different type of rock. A musical synthesizer. Synth bass, synonym of keyboard bass. Synth basses, plural of synth bass. Synth pad, a sustained chord or tone generated by a synthesizer, often employed for background harmony or atmosphere. Synth pads, plural of synth pad. Synth rock, any of several genres of rock music featuring electronic synthesizers. Synthpop, alternative form of synthpop. Centolin, an oral antidiabetic drug. Synde, difluoromethyl 1,2,2,3,3 pentafluoropropyl ether, a halocarbon agent investigated as an inhalational anesthetic but never marketed. Syndase, any enzyme that catalyzes the synthesis of a biological compound. Synthesis, plural of synthase. Synthesome, the structure in which a specific biomolecule is synthesized. Synthesomes, plural of synthesome. Synthetase, misspelling of synthetase. Syntaxin, alternative form of syntaxin. Syntaxins, plural of syntaxin. Synthbass, alternative form of synthbase. Synthcore, a more hard or intense style of synthesizer music, influenced by other genres such as metal. Time dance, electronic dance music employing a synthesizer. Def, simple past and past participle of syn. Synthicine, any of a range of Synthetic cytokines. Synthekines, plural of synthekine. Synthamid, alternative form of synthamistid. Synthamids, plural of synthamid. Synthamistid. Any dragonfly in the family Synthamistidae. Synthamistids, plural of synthamistid. Synthermal, having the same temperature. Synthesase, alternative form of synthase. Synthesases, plural of synthesase. Syntheses, plural of synthesis. Synthesis, the formation of something complex or coherent by combining simpler things. Synthesis gas, the gas obtained by heating coal and steam, coal gas. Synthesis gases, plural of synthesis gas. Synthesis phase, the part of the cell cycle in which DNA is replicated, occurring between the G1 phase and G2 phase. Synthesis phases, plural of synthesis phase. Synthesizable, alternative form of synthesizable. Synthesize, non-Oxford British English Standard spelling of synthesize. Synthesized, simple past and past participle of synthesize. Synthesizer, alternative spelling of synthesize. Synthesizers, plural of synthesizer. Synthesizes, third person singular simple present indicative of synthesize. Synthesizing, present participle and gerund of synthesize. Synthesism, synthesis anarchism. Synthesisms, plural of synthesism. Synthesis, one who synthesizes. Synthesis, plural of synthesis. Synthesizability, the quality of being synthesizable. Synthesizable, able to be easily synthesized. Synthesization, synthesis. Synthesizations, plural of synthesization. Synthesize, to be produced by chemical synthesis. Synthesized, simple past and past participle of synthesize. Synthesizer, an electronic musical instrument that creates its sounds with electronics and generally is played via a keyboard. Synthesizers, plural of synthesizer. Synthesizes, third person singular simple present indicative of synthesize. Synthesizing, present participle and gerund of synthesize. Synthesizings, plural of synthesizing. Synthesum, alternative form of synthesum. Synthesums, plural of synthesum. Synthespian, a completely computer-generated character who appears in a film or similar work, a virtual actor. Synthespians, plural of synthespian. Syntheta, plural of synthetin. Synthetase, any enzyme that catalyzes the synthesis of a biological compound. Synthetases, plural of synthetase. Synthetic, of or relating to synthesis. Synthetic air, a form of purified air made from purified liquid air, which is used in some chemical analyses. Synthetic airs, plural of synthetic air. Synthetic biology, the application of genetic engineering to generate modified or even completely new forms of life. Synthetic division, a method of polynomial long division in which one does not write the variables and some of the calculations. Synthetic divisions, Plural of synthetic division. Synthetic element. A chemical element that does not occur naturally on Earth and must be synthesized manufactured. Synthetic elements. Plural of synthetic element. Synthetic fiber. Any fiber made by extruding a synthetic substance through spinnerets to make a thread. Synthetic fibers. Plural of synthetic fiber. Synthetic fiber. Alternative form of synthetic fiber. Synthetic fibers. Plural of synthetic fiber. Synthetic future. In Ukrainian, the single word future tense that can be formed from imperfective verbs. Synthetic geometry. Geometry without the use of coordinates, relying instead on proofs derived from axioms. Synthetic ice. A surface substitute for ice, allowing the use of ice sports equipment atop it, composed of high-density polymers. Synthetic ice skate. A type of skate used on synthetic ice, having the body of an ice skate with a blade substitute that uses a row of small inline double knife-edged bladed wheels. Ice skates similarly have a double knife-edged blade, much smaller wheels than found on inline roller skates. Synthetic ice skates. Plural of synthetic ice skate. Synthetic intelligence. Synonym of artificial intelligence. Synthetic intelligences. Plural of synthetic intelligence. Synthetic lethality. A type of genetic interaction in which two or more mutations which are not lethal when occurring singly in a cell are lethal when they occur together in the same cell. Synthetic meat. Synonym of clean meat. Synthetic meats. Plural of synthetic meat. Synthetic paper. Any of several forms of paper-like film made from plastics such as polypropylene. Synthetic papers. Plural of synthetic paper. Synthetic philosophy. The philosophical system introduced by Herbert Spencer, conceived as a fusion of the different sciences into a whole. Synthetic phonics. System of teaching children to read by synthesizing sounds from letters. Synthetic Scots. A hybrid of the Scots language combining modern spoken Scots with archaic Scots words and idioms from various periods of Scottish history. Synthetic theory. Modern synthesis. Synthetical. Synthetic. Synthetically. Using synthetic methods. Syntheticism. The principles of synthesis, a synthetic system. Syntheticity. The condition of being synthetic. Synthetics. Plural of synthetic. Synthetize. Alternative form of synthetize. Synthesized. Simple past and past participle of synthetize. Synthesizes. Third person singular simple present indicative of synthesize. Synthesizing. Present participle and gerund of synthesize. Synthetism. A style of post-impressionism that aims to synthesize various elements, the outward appearance of the thing depicted, the artist's feelings about it, and aesthetic considerations. Synthesis. A synthesis, one who synthesizes. Synthetistic. Of or relating to synthetism. Synthetists. Plural of synthetists. Synthesization. Alternative form of synthesization. Synthetizations. Plural of synthesization. Synthetize. To synthesize. Synthetized. Simple past and past participle of synthetize. Synthesizes. Third person singular simple present indicative of synthetize. Synthesizing, present participle and gerund of synthesize. Synthetose ratine, any ruminant mammal of the subfamily Synthetose ratini. Synthetose ratines, plural of synthetose ratine. Synthetoserine, an extinct protoceratid of the late Miocene comprising the genus Synthetosaurus. Synthetoserines, plural of synthetoserine. Syndeton, a set phrase linking two or more non-synonymous words by conjunction. Synthetonic, pertaining to hendiadys in which the conjoined terms are synonyms. Synfuel, alternative form of synfuel. Synfuels, plural of synfuel. Synthe, a female given name from ancient Greek. Synther, present participle and gerund of synth. Synthol, a synthetic preparation proposed as a substitute for alcohol. Synthome, all the reactions that are possible starting from a given compound. Synthomes, plural of synthome. Synthon, in retrosynthetic analysis, a structural unit within a molecule which is related to a possible synthetic operation. Synthome, any key intermediate product that, once synthesized, may be used to synthesize a range of other compounds. Synthones, plural of synthon. Symphonic, relating to synthons. Synthons, plural of synthon. Synthorax, in dragonflies and damselflies, the mesothorax and metathorax when fused together. Synthpop, a style of pop music in which the synthesizer is the dominant musical instrument. Synthpoppy, resembling or characteristic of synthpop music. Synthpack, electropunk. Synderona, plural of synteronin. Synteroni, plural of synterones. Synteronin, a structure in the apse containing the cathedra and seating for priests assisting a bishop. Synteronins, plural of synteronin. Synthrones, a bishop's throne. Themnes, plural of synth. Synthware, the electronic, synthesizer-based subgenre of new wave and dark wave music, in contrast to that based on guitars. Synth, based upon or resembling the sound of a synthesizer. Syntho, clipping of syntocinin. Syntocinin, a synthetic form of oxytocin. Syntome, flat of finite presentation and locally a complete intersection. Syntome, brevity, conciseness. Syntonic, in harmony or synergy with one's personality and milieu. Syntonic comma, a small comma-type interval between two musical notes, equal to the frequency ratio 8180 equals 1.0125 or around 21.51 cents. It often manifests itself as the difference between the Pythagorean major third of 8164 and the classic major third of 5:4, between the Pythagorean minor third of 3227 and the classic minor third of 6:5. And between the major whole tone of 9:8 and minor whole tone of 10:9. Syntonic commas, plural of syntonic comma. Syntonical, dated form of syntonic. Syntonically, in syntonic fashion. Syntonies, plural of syntony. Syntonin, a form of fibbing found in muscle tissue or produced by the action of acids on myosin. Syntonins, plural of syntonin. Syntonize, alternative form of syntonize. Syntonize, simple past and past participle of syntonize. Syntonizes. Syntonizing, present participle and gerund of syntonize. Syntonization, the adjustment of two electronic circuits or devices so as to operate at the same frequency. Syntonize, to adjust two electronic circuits or devices to operate on the same frequency. Syntonize, simple past and past participle of syntonize. Syntonizer, that which syntonizes. Syntonizers, plural of syntonizer. Syntonizes, third person singular simple present indicative of syntonize. Syntonizing, present participle and gerund of syntonize. Syntonous, having the same frequency, syntonic. Syntony, a condition in which two oscillators have the same resonant frequency. Syntope, having the ability to coexist without interference with other species. Syntopical, of or pertaining to a type of analysis in which different works are compared and contrasted. Syntopically, in a syntopical manner. Syntopicon, a publication that indexes and compares a number of works in some field. Syntopes, plural of syntope. Syntope, a form of sympatry involving unrelated species. Syntaxoi, a toxoid having the same degree of affinity for an antitoxin that the toxin has. Syntaxoids, plural of syntaxoi. Syntubation, a form of usually female masturbation involving the rubbing or squeezing of the thighs together to sexually stimulate one's genitalia, often to the point of orgasm, typically without the use of hands. Syntroph, an individual related to another by syntrophy. Syntrophic, of or pertaining to syntrophy. Syntrophically, by means of syntrophy. Syntrophies, plural of syntrophy. Syntrophin, any of a class of proteins that are associated with dystrophin. Syntrophins, plural of syntrophin. Syntrophism, syntrophy. Syntrophs, plural of syntroph. Syntrophy, the relationship between the individuals of different species, especially as bacteria in which one or both benefit nutritionally from the presence of the other. Syntrope, exhibiting or pertaining to syntropy. Syntropical, alternative form of syntropic. Syntropy, a tendency towards complexity, structure, order, organization of ever more advantageous and orderly patterns, originally coined as a synonym for negentropy. Syntage, a female given name from ancient Greek. Syntype, any one of two or more specimens specified in the description of a species or lower order taxon, where no specimen has been designated as holotype. Syntypes, plural of syntype. Syntypic, being or relating to a syntape. Syntype, a small, soluble protein primarily expressed in neural tissue and in certain tumors. Synucleinapase, plural of synucleinapase. Synucleinapase, any of a group of diseases associated with a normal deposition of synuclein. Synucleins, plural of synuclein. Synucleapase, plural of synucleapase. Synucleape, misspelling of synucleinopathy. Synolonic, promoting the formation of scar tissue. Synerme, synonym of synerbic. Tenerbe, that lives predominantly within an urban ecosystem adapted to urban life. Synerization, the adaptation of an organism to live predominantly in an urban ecosystem. Synuria, any of a small group of mostly freshwater heterocont algae covered in silicate scales and spines of the class Synuriphyceae. Synurids, plural of synurid. Synuriphycean, synonym of synurid. Synuriphyceans, plural of Synuriphycean. Synuriphyte, a member of the synurids, a small group of heterocont algae. Synuriphytes, plural of Synuriphyte. Tenaria, a layer of vegetation consisting of species with shared life forms. Synvolcanic, occurring during the same time period as volcanic activity. Synzuchery, the dispersal of seed by animals who store them in a cache. Synzospore, a compound zoospore. Synzospores, plural of synzospore. Synzootic, having an animal parasite that is not causing any symptoms. Synzyme, a synthetic enzyme. Synzymes, plural of synzyme. Synerices, plural of syneresis. Syneresis, alternative spelling of syneresis. Synesthesia, obsolete spelling of synesthesia. Synesthesias, plural of synesthesia. Synesthesia, plural of synesthesia. Synesthete, rare spelling of synesthete. Synesthetes, plural of synesthete. Synesthetic, archaic form of synesthetic. Cynocism, alternative spelling of cynocism. Obsolete spelling of cyan. Initialism of southern yellow pine. Scythe, syphilis. Cyhexin, a hemolytic protein present in the frog Leptodactylus syphax. Cytop, afflicted with syphilis, syphilitic. Cyver, a surname from German. Cyvert, simple past and past participle of cipher. Ciphering, present participle and gerund of cipher. Cyphers, plural of cipher. Syphilid, any of the cutaneous and mucous membrane lesions characteristic of secondary and tertiary syphilis. Syphili, a cutaneous eruption due to syphilis. Syphilides, plural of syphili. Syphilids, plural of syphilid. Syphilophobia, alternative form of syphilophobia. Syphilophobias, plural of syphilophobia. Typhus, a disease spread via sexual activity caused by the bacterium Treponema pallidum. Syphilization, alternative form of syphilization. Syphilizations, plural of syphilization. Syphilize, alternative form of syphilize. Syphilized, simple past and past participle of syphilize. Typhilises, third person singular simple present indicative of syphilize. Syphilising, present participle and gerund of syphilize. Syphoitic, of, relating to, or infected with syphilis. Syphilitically, in a syphilitic manner with venereal disease. Syphilitics, plural of syphilitic. Syphilization, Inoculation with material from a syphilitic lesion, especially when employed as a preventive measure. Syphilizations, plural of syphilization. Syphilize, to inoculate or infect with syphilis. Syphilize, simple past and past participle of syphilize. Syphilizes, third person singular simple present indicative of syphilize. Syphilizing, present participle and gerund of syphilize. Typhilis, misspelling of syphilis. Typhalo, syphilis. Syphiloderm, syphile. Syphiloderms, plural of syphiloderm. Syphilographer, one who writes a scientific description of syphilis. Syphilographers, plural of syphilographer. Syphilography, the scientific description of syphilis. Syphiloi, resembling syphilis. Syphaloids, plural of syphiloi. Syphological, of or pertaining to syphilology. Syphilologists, a specialist in syphilology. Syphilologists, plural of syphilologists. Syphilology, the scientific study of and treatment of syphilis. Syphiloma, a syphilitic tumor. Syphilomania, syphilophobia in people who do not already have syphilis. Syphilomas, plural of syphiloma. Syphilomata, plural of syphiloma. Syphilopho, one who has syphilophobia. Syphilophobes, plural of syphilopho. Syphilophobia, a morbid fear of syphilis. Syphilophobias, plural of syphilophobia. Syphilophobic, having or relating to syphilophobia. Syphilisis, syphilitic disease. Syphilis, syphilitic. Siphon, alternative spelling of siphon. Siphon the python, to urinate. Siphonage, alternative form of siphonage. Siphonal, alternative form of siphonal. Siphon, simple past and past participle of siphon. Siphonic, alternative form of siphonic. Siphoning, present participle and gerund of siphon. Siphonings, plural of siphoning. Siphonophore, alternative form of siphonophore. Siphonophores, plural of siphonophore. Siphons, plural of siphon. Semmirski, a surname from Polish. Semmuskis, plural of Sepmuski. Seppolt, a surname from German. Seppolts, plural of Sippolt. Plural of SYP. Or synonym of Serdaria. Derdaria, alternative form of Serdaria. Serdaria, a major river in Central Asia running parallel to the Amudarya. Tewa, alternative form of Syros Greek island. Syracusan, of, from, or relating to the city of Syracuse, Sicily, Italy. Syracusans, plural of Syracusan. Syracuse, a place name. Syracuses, plural of Syracuse. Syracusan, of or relating to Syracuse. Syracusans, plural of Syracusan. Tewa, alternative letter case form of Syra. Erath, plural of Sira. Sira, archaic form of Sarang. Sirangs, plural of Sirang. Sirashra, synonym of Sorashra. Sire, obsolete form of sire. A, simple past and past participle of sire. Siren, obsolete form of siren. Sirens, plural of siren. Sires, plural of sire. Tirette, a collapsible tube with a hypodermic needle containing a single dose of a medicine. Tirets, plural of siret. An abbreviation for 7th century Syriac manuscripts of the Bible, also known as Harklensis or Harklian version, translated by Thomas of Harkle. Tua, a country in West Asia in the Middle East. Official name, Syrian Arab Republic. Capital, Damascus. Syria, Palestine, a cultural region of Western Asia consisting of the Eastern Mediterranean countries, i.e. Syria, Lebanon, and Israel, Palestine, Jordan, and Cyprus, the Levant. Tuhat, an Aramaic language, part of the Semitic language family, specifically Syriac Catholic, a member of the Syriac Catholic Church. Syriac Catholics, plural of Syriac Catholic. Syriac Orthodox Church, an Oriental Orthodox Church branched from the Church of Antioch. Syriac Studies, the study of the Syriac language and Syriac Christianity. Syriacism, an idiom or other feature borrowed from Syriac. Syriacisms, plural of Syriacism. Syriacis, a specialist in Syriac language or Syriac studies. Syriacis, plural of Syriacist. Syriacs, plural of Syriac. Tyrio, former name of family. Syria, of, from, or pertaining to Syria, the Syrian people or the Syrian language. Syrian Arab Army, the enemy of Syria from 1963 to 2024. Syrian Arab Republic, official name of Syria, a country in Western Asia in the Middle East. Syrian Arch, an archway that rises from the ground without a supporting pedestal. Syrian asphalt, synonym of bitumen of Judea. Syrian bear, synonym of dove. Syrian bears, plural of Syrian bear. Syrian brown bear, synonym of dove. Syrian brown bears, plural of Syrian brown bear. Syrian desert, a region of desert, semi-desert, and steppe in Western Asia, covering 500,000 square kilometers, 200,000 square miles, including parts of southeastern Syria, northeastern Jordan, northern Saudi Arabia, and western Iraq. Syrian hamster, synonym of golden hamster. Syrian hamsters, plural of Syrian hamster. Syrian rue, paganum harmala harmal. Syrian ruse, plural of Syrian rue. Syrian soap, synonym of Aleppo soap. Syrian soaps, plural of Syrian soap. Syrianize, non-Oxford British English Standard spelling of Syrianize. Syrianism, a Syrian idiom or phrase, a Syriacism. Syrianisms, plural of Syrianism. Syrianist, a proponent of Syrian culture. Syrianists, plural of Syrianists. Syrianization, the act or process of Syrianizing. Syrianize, to render something or someone Syrian. Syrianize. Simple past and past participle of Syrianize. Syrianizes. Third person singular simple present indicative of Syrianize. Syrianizing. Present participle and gerund of Syrianize. Darianus. The quality or characteristic of being Syrian. Darians. Plural of Syrian. The chief priest in the Roman province of Syria. Syriacate. The term of office of a Syriarch. Syriacates. Plural of Syriarchate. Syriars. Plural of Syriac. Syriaza. A result of Syriac influence. Syriasms. Plural of Syriasm. Sirit. Arabed. Tirit. Plural of Sirit. Dirit. A surname. Dirinta. Sweet mock orange Philadelphus coronarius. Syringeability. Alternative form of syringeability. Syringeable. Alternative form of syringeable. Syringefactin. A hygroscopic biosurfactant produced by Pseudomonas syringae. Syringefactins. Plural of syringefactin. Syringaldazine. The azo compound 4-hydroxy-3,5-dimethylxybenzaldehyde azine that is used as an indicator of lacase and peroxidase activity. Syringaldehyde. The aromatic aldehyde 4-hydroxy-3,5-dimethylxybenzaldehyde related to syringic acid. Syringoli. Any of a group of phenylpropanoid glycosides present in syringa SBP. Syringalize. Plural of syringali. Syringosanol. A lignin present in flax and sesame. Syringes. Plural of syringa. Syringe. An ester or anion derived from syringic acid. Diuret. A device used for injecting or drawing fluids through a membrane. Syringeability. The condition of being syringeable. Syringable. Capable of being dispensed from or drawn into a syringe. Syringeal. Relating to the syrinx. Syringe. Simple past and past participle of syringe. Syringeful. The amount that a syringe will hold. Syringefuls. Plural of syringeful. Syringeless. Without a syringe. Syringe-like. Resembling or characteristic of a syringe. Syringes. Plural of syringe. Syringesful. Plural of syringeful. Syringetin. An O-methylated flavanol, a type of flavonoid. Syringitins. Plural of syringitin. Syringe. Pertaining to syringic acid or its derivatives. Syringic acid. A naturally occurring O-methylated trihydroxybenzoic acid found in various plants. Syringa. A glucoside found in the bark of the lilac syringa, among other plants, and extracted as a white crystalline substance. Syringe. Present participle and gerund of syringe. Syringa. Syrinx of or pertaining to a tube or tuboid. Structure, such as a fistula. Syringobalbia. A medical condition in which syrinxes or fluid-filled cavities affect the medulla oblongata, i.e. the lower portion of the brain stem. Syringical. The central canal of the spinal cord. Syringicoles. Plural of syringicole. Syringogastrid. Any fly of the family Syringogastridae. Syringogastrids, plural of syringogastrid. Syringohydromealia, syringomealia coupled with hydrocephalus. Syringoid, tuboid and especially fistulous. Syrindal, the phenyl 1,3-dimethoxy-2-hydroxybenzene. Syringolin, any of a family of macrolactam amino acids secreted by Pseudomonas syringae. Syringolins, plural of syringolin. Syringoma, a harmless tumor of the sweat duct typically found clustered on eyelids. Syringomas, plural of syringoma. Syringomata, plural of syringoma. Syringomatus, relating to syringoma. Syringomatoplasia, metaplasia of the syrinx. Syringomycin, any of a class of lipopsynaptide molecules secreted by the plant pathogen Pseudomonas syringae. Syringomycins, plural of syringomycin. Syringomalia, a disorder in which a cyst or cavity forms within the spinal cord, possibly leading to stiffness or paralysis. Syringomalias, plural of syringomalia. Syringomizella, relating to syringomalia. Syringoptin, any of a group of antimicrobial cyclic lipopeptides produced by Pseudomonas syringae. Syringoptins, plural of syringoptin. Syringopretonal, relating to the syrinx and the peritoneum. Syringophila, any mite of the family Syringophilidae. Syringophilids, plural of syringophilid. Syringophiline, any mite of the subfamily Syringophilinae. Syringophilines, plural of syringophiline. Syringopicrosi, an iridoid glucoside present in lilacs of the genus Syringa that has antibacterial activity. Syringoporid, any extinct coral of the family Syringoporidae. Syringoporids, plural of syringoporid. Syringopori, relating to the syringoporids. Syringotome, a small blunt pointed bistoury used in syringotomy. Syringotomes, plural of syringotome. Syringotomies, plural of syringotomy. Syringotomy, the operation of cutting for anal fistula. Syringotoxin, a bioactive metabolite isolated from the bacterium Pseudomonas syringae. PV syringae. Urins, plural of syringe. Syringal, a univalent radical derived from syringol. Syrinx, a set of panpipes. Syrinxes, plural of syrinx. Syriabe, a particular steroid glycoside found in Asclepias syriaca. Syriodinin, a particular steroid glycoside found in Asclepias syriaca. Syriaceae, a particular steroid glycoside. Tyriha, the coalition of the radical left, a Greek political party. Iriha, alternative form of Syriza. Sertanian, alternative form of Zyrian. Sertanians, plural of Seaganian. Iota Virginis, a binary star in the constellation of Virgo. Sat, alternative form of Shydek. Sax, plural of Seamac. Tus, plural of Seama. Te, a fried Eastern Slavic quark curd cheese pancake. Tavius, plural of Seanaki. Seanalid, Any sea snail in the family Cyanalidae, now considered to be the pyramidalid subfamily Cyanalinae. Cyanalids, plural of cyanale. Cei, synonym of cyanigi in Ukrainian cuisine. Tuo, Syro-Aramaic, the Syriac language. Syro-Palestinian, alternative form of Syro-Palestinian. Syrohim, misspelling of Syrohim. Syron, alternative form of Syron. Syrons, plural of Syron. Syrup, archaic form of syrup. Syro-Palestinian, of or pertaining to the Levant. Syro-Palestinian Aramaic, synonym of Christian Palestinian Aramaic. Syrophoenician, alternative form of Syrophoenician. Syrophoenicians, plural of Syrophoenician. Syrophoenician, an inhabitant of the Phoenician part of Syria. Syrophoenicians, plural of Syrophoenician. Syrophoenician, obsolete typography of Syrophoenician. Syrophoenicians, plural of Syrophoenician. Syraps, plural of Syra. Tyros, a Greek island in the Cyclades. Sivota, a surname. Ta, an abbreviation for an early Syriac translation of the Bible also known as Peshitta. 7. Of or relating to flies of the genus Saephus or the family Saephidae. Saens, plural of Saephaean. 7. Of or pertaining to flies of the family Saephidae. It is plural of Saephe. Tiwi, any holayator Saevini. Tevins, plural of Saephine. Tefes, a fly of the genus Saephus or the family Saephidae. Saephus flies, plural of Saephus fly. Saephus fly, alternative form of Saephus. Saephus is, plural of Saephus. Abbreviation for an early Syriac translation of the Bible known as Sinaitic Syriac. A kind of elevated flatland in Russia and Central Asia. Terai, alternative spelling of Sirtaki. Sayat-Hakis, plural of Sayat-Aki. Alternative form of Sirt, a city in Libya. Plural of Sayadis. Of or relating to a Sayat, boggy, resembling quicksand. That is, synonym of quicksand. Seos, a folk dance of classical and modern Greece. Plural of Sayat. Sarah, any thick liquid that has a high sugar content and which is added to or poured over food as a flavoring. Syrup of figs, a type of laxative made from figs. Syrup of Ipca, liquid medicine made from a flowering plant, Psychotria ipcaquanha, used as an emetic, Ipca. Theraped with syrup. Syruper, a machine for making syrup. Syrupers, plural of syruper. Syrupir, comparative form of syrupy, more syrupy. Syrupious, superlative form of syrupy, most syrupy. Syrupily, in a syrupy manner. Syrupiness, the state or condition of being syrupy. Syrupe, present participle and gerund of syra. Syrup-like, resembling syrup or some aspect of it. Theraps, plural of syra. Syrups of figs, plural of syrup of figs. Syrupy, having the taste or consistency of syrup. Eris, alternative form of Syros, Greek island. Tyrrhenian, alternative form of Zyrian. Tyrrhenians, plural of Cyanian. The initialism of see you soon. The plural of sy. The abbreviation of system. Sysrq, alternative form of Sysrq. That's abbreviation of system. Sethat, alternative form of sysadmin. Sysadmin, systems administrator, a person whose job it is to maintain computer or network systems. Sysadmining, system administration, the work of a sysadmin. Sysadmining, alternative form of sysadmining. Sysadmins, plural of sysadmin. Sysas, plural of sysad. Sysep, an incompetent sysup. Syseps, plural of sysape. Dysbiosis, misspelling of dysbiosis. Dyscall, a software request for a service from the operating system kernel. Dyscalls, plural of syscall. Discourse, discourse within the multiplicity community, especially in connection with the validity of certain labels or identities. Sysgovers, plural of sysgovery. Sysgover, the self-discovery that one is in a system. Sesama, a municipality of Päijänne, Finland. Delt, clipping of sysmedicalist, a person who believes that medically diagnosed dissociative disorder or a history of psychological trauma are essential traits of multiplicity. Sysmedicalism, the belief that medically diagnosed dissociative disorder, especially dissociative identity disorder or other specified dissociative disorder type 1 or a history of psychological trauma are essential traits of multiplicity. Sysmedicalists, a person who believes that medically diagnosed dissociative disorder, especially dissociative identity disorder or other specified dissociative disorder type 1 or a history of psychological trauma are essential traits of multiplicity. Sysmedicalists, plural of sysmedicalists. Tuts, plural of sysmed. SysML, abbreviation of Systems Modeling Language. Setha, alternative letter case form of SYSA. Setha, a system operator, especially someone who administers an online communications system or bulletin board. Sysafud, the state or periods of being a SYSA. Sysopt, simple past and past participle of sysub. Sysobbing, present participle and gerund of sysub. Setha, plural of sysub. Tithaps, plural of sysub. Syswax, a group of connected IBM mainframe systems that share resources. Sysplaxes, plural of sysplax. Sysprar, a systems programmer. Sysprogs, plural of syspra. Sethert, a directory containing all the header files, configuration files, and libraries required to build a program, often used in cross-compilation. Syrets, plural of Sysert. Sysrq, abbreviation of system request. Tevo, alternative form of sisal fiber. Teos, plural of sisal. Sisarcosis, the junction of bones by intervening muscles. Tevo, an Icelandic administrative division. Teos, plural of sisal. Sisea, in ancient Greece, a common meal shared by men and youths in social or religious groups. Zizeas, plural of sisisha. That's abbreviation of system. That's abbreviation of system. Systaltic, capable of or taking place by alternate contraction and dilatation. Systasis, plural of systases. Systases, the combination of different elements, synthesis. Sestai, introductory, recommendatory. Teston, a group or set of related things that operate together as a complex whole. System administrator, a person whose job it is to maintain computer or network systems. System administrators, plural of system administrator. System architecture, the conceptual model that defines the behavior, structure, and more views of a system. System architectures, plural of system architecture. System bus, a single computer bus that connects the major components of a computer system, combining the functions of a data bus, an address bus, and a control bus. System buses, plural of system bus. System buses, plural of system bus. System D, a manner of responding to challenges with quick thinking and improvisation. System F, a kind of typed lambda calculus that introduces a mechanism of universal quantification over types. System of equations, a set of equations required to be satisfied simultaneously or considered as a whole. System of numeration, synonym of number system. System on a chip, an integrated circuit, also known as a chip that integrates all or most components of a computer or other electronic system. System operator, a person who oversees the day-to-day operation of a computer system. System operators, plural of system operator. System pole, a new computer part that has been removed from an unused, previously assembled system. System sales, the total sales of all outlets that use a brand, including franchises. System seller, a video game that convinces a significant number of consumers to purchase a specific video game console in order to access and play the video game. System software, the software associated with an operating system and supporting utilities, database systems, etc. System time, the passage of time of a computer system, including the passing of days on the calendar. System times, plural of system time. System tray, the portion of the taskbar that displays the system time and icons for running processes, which can often launch menus for those processes. System trays, plural of system tray. System unit, the main unit of a desktop computer consisting of the chassis and hardware. System units, plural of system unit. Systemonger, a person who is unduly fond of constructing systems. Systemmongers, plural of systemmonger. System on chip, alternative form of system on a chip. System Y, alternative form of System Y. Systema, a Russian martial art first appearing in the 1990s, involving a wide variety of fighting styles, including hand-to-hand combat, grappling, knife fighting, and firearms with the specific elements usually dictated by the individual school. Systematic. Carried out according to a planned, ordered procedure. Systematic element name. A systematic name for an element derived from the digits of its atomic number to which the suffix am is appended, normally only used for transuranic elements before or for a short period after they have been created, after which they are given a non-systematic name. Systematic element names. Plural of systematic element name. Systematic name. A name that systematically designates a well-defined group of entities. Systematic names. Plural of systematic name. Systematic risks. The risk associated with an asset that is correlated with the risk of asset markets generally, often measured as its beta. Systematic risks. Plural of systematic risks. Systematical. Systematic. Systematicality. The quality of being systematic. Systematically. In a systematic manner, organizedly or methodically. Systematician. A person who works or studies according to a system. Systematicians. Plural of systematician. Systematicist. A person who studies systematicity. Systematicists. Plural of systematicists. Systematicities. Plural of systematicity. Systematicity. The state or quality of being systematic. Systematic. Obsolete form of systematic. Systematics. Obsolete form of systematics. Systematicness. The quality of being systematic. Systematics. The study of classification systems and nomenclature. Systematization. Alternative form of systematization. Systematizations. Plural of systematization. Systematize. Alternative form of systematize. Systematize. Simple past and past participle of systematize. Systematizer. Alternative spelling of systematizer. Systematizers. Plural of systematizer. Systematizes. Third person singular simple present indicative of systematize. Systematizing. Present participle and gerund of systematize. Systematism. The reduction of facts or principles to a system. Systematisms. Plural of systematism. Systematist. A biologist who studies systematics. Systematists. Plural of systematists. Systemato. According to or using a system, especially a previously agreed one. Systematizable. That can be systematized. Systematization. The act of systematizing. Systematizations. Plural of systematization. Systematize. To arrange into a systematic order, to make systematic, to organize as a system. Systematize. Simple past and past participle of systematize. Systematizer. A person who systematizes. Systematizers. Plural of systematizer. Systematizes. Third person singular simple present indicative of systematize. Systematizing. Present participle and gerund of systematize. Systematizing. Plural of systematizing. Systematological. Of or pertaining to systematology. Systematologies. Plural of systematology. Systematology. The science or study of systematizing. Systemed. Having or relating to a certain kind or number of system. Systemic, embedded within and spread throughout and affecting a whole system, group, body, economy, market, or society. Systemic circulation, the part of blood circulation which carries oxygenated blood away from the heart to the body and returns deoxygenated blood back to the heart. Systemic circulations, plural of systemic circulation. Systemic exertion intolerance disease, synonym of chronic fatigue syndrome. Systemic lupus erythematosus, a systemic autoimmune disease or autoimmune connective tissue disease where the immune system attacks the body's cells and tissue and causes inflammation and tissue damage. Systemic sclerosis, plural of systemic sclerosis. Systemic sclerosis, synonym of scleroderma. Systemic therapy, a school of psychology that seeks to address people not on an individual level, as was the focus of earlier forms of therapy, but as people in relationships, dealing with the interactional patterns and group dynamics. Systemical, synonym of systemic. Systemically, in a systemic manner. Systemicities, plural of systemicity. Systemicity, the quality of being systemic. Systemics, the holistic study of systems from a scientific and / or philosophical perspective. Cystamin, a plant peptide hormone involved in the wound response in the Solanaceae family. Systemization, alternative form of systemization. Systemizations, plural of systemization. Systemize, alternative form of systemize. Systemized, simple past and past participle of systemize. Systemizer, alternative form of systemizer. Systemizers, plural of systemizer. Systemizes, third person singular simple present indicative of systemized. Systemizing, present participle and gerund of systemize. Systemism, synonym of systematism. Systemes, synonym of systematist, one who reduces things to a system. Systemists, plural of systemists. Systemizable, that can be systemized. Systemization, systematization. Systemizations, plural of systemization. Systemize, synonym of systematize. Systemized, simple past and past participle of systemize. Systemizer, one who systemizes or reduces to system, a systematizer. Systemizers, plural of systemizer. Systemizes, third person singular simple present indicative of systemize. Systemizing, present participle and gerund of systemize. Systemas, lacking organized or systematic structure, without a system. Systemousness, absence of a system. Systemate, synonym of head. Mate, one of the personalities, identities, or selves in a person with multiplicity. Systemates, plural of systemate. Systemness, the essential attributes that constitute a system, the property of being interconnected so as to operate in a way that goes beyond the operation of the component parts. Systemon, resembling a system. System punct, the point in a system, either an infrastructure or a market, where a swarm of disruptions and attacks will cascade and collapse the system, resulting in, for example, financial loss, supply shortages, or destabilization. System puncts, plural of system punct. Systems, plural of system. Systems analyzes, plural of systems analysis. Systems analysis. The scientific analysis of systems and the interactions within them. Systems analysts. A person whose job is to perform systems analysis by being responsible for researching, planning, and recommending software and system choices to meet an organization's business requirements. Systems analysts, plural of systems analysts. Systems architecture, alternative spelling of system architecture. Systems architectures, plural of systems architecture. Systems biology, the systematic study of the complex interactions in biological systems with integral help from computational and mathematical analysis. And modeling. Systems design, the process or art of defining the hardware and software architecture, components, modules, interfaces, and data for a computer system to satisfy specified requirements. One could see it as the application of systems theory to computing. Some overlap with the discipline of systems analysis appears inevitable. Design tools such as UML now address some of the issues of computer systems design and interfacing. Systems engineering, an interdisciplinary field of engineering, focusing on the development, analysis, and organization of complex systems. Systems language, a programming language used for systems programming. Systems languages, plural of systems language. Systems of equations, plural of system of equations. Systems of numeration, plural of system of numeration. Systems on a chip, plural of system on a chip. Systems programmer, a programmer responsible for systems programming. Systems programmers, plural of systems programmer. Systems programming, the activity of programming systems software, for example, operating systems as opposed to applications. Systems science, an interdisciplinary field of science that studies the nature of complex systems in nature, society, and science, aiming at developing interdisciplinary foundations that are applicable in a variety of areas including engineering, biology, medicine, and social sciences. Systems sciences, plural of systems science. System software, alternative form of system software. Systems theory, an interdisciplinary field of science which studies the nature of complex systems in nature, society, and science, and studies complex parts of reality as systems. Systems on chip, plural of system on chip. Systems wide, throughout multiple systems. System-wide, throughout a system. System-wise, according to or pertaining to a system. Systole, the rhythmic contraction of the heart by which blood is driven through the arteries. Systoles, plural of systole. Systolic, pertaining to a systole or heart contraction. Systolic array, in parallel computer architectures, a homogeneous network of tightly coupled data processing units DPUS, each of which independently computes a partial result as a function of the data received from its upstream neighbors, stores the result within itself, and passes it downstream. Systolic arrays, plural of systolic array. Systolic blood pressure, the highest pressure within the bloodstream occurring during each heartbeat because of the systole. Systolic blood pressures, plural of systolic blood pressure. Systolically, in a systolic manner. Systolics, plural of systolic. Systolization. Conversion to systolic form. Sesta, a town in Charnwood Borough, Leicestershire, England. OS grid ref SK 6211. Sistre, abbreviation of system tray. Tistres, plural of sistre. Sistrephe, any snail in the family Sistrephiidae, now considered to be part of the Scalodontidae. Sistre is plural of Sistrephe. Sistrum, obsolete form of sistrum. Sissile, having a space equal to 2 diameters or 4 modules between 2 columns, said of a portico or building. Systyles, plural of systyle. Systilius, in which the operculum remains attached to the columella after dehiscence. Systilis, having the styles united into a single body. Sisyphean, alternative form of Sisyphean. Alternative form of Sithsense. Sut, obsolete form of psi. Simple past and past participle of psi. Size, plural of psi. Sile, present participle and gerund of psi. Sitigabitic, misspelling of stygabitic. Zetsa, a surname. Sitsas, plural of sitsma. Tit, a surname from Mandarin. Te, alternative spelling of Sayid. Te, plural of Saya. Suija, a district of Tainan, Taiwan. Suishan, alternative form of Zushan. Te, a river in Bashkortostan and Tatarstan, Russian Federation. Tore, a province of Armenia. Soya, the way in which the story is told throughout a book or film, employment of narrative. Duritz, plural of sujet. Syverson, a surname. Syversons, plural of Syverson. Dykes, obsolete spelling of six. SYZ conjecture, an attempt to understand the mirror symmetry conjecture, an issue in theoretical physics and mathematics. Sizwe, a city in Samara Oblast, Russia. Sizidal, relating to syzygy. Syzyget, a rational integral function of the invariance of a quantic that vanishes when expressed as a function of the coefficients. Syzygant, plural of syzygant. Syzygetic, relating to or exhibiting syzygy. Syzygetically, in a syzygetic manner. Syzydaw, of or pertaining to a syzygy. Syzyde, of or pertaining to syzygy. Desides, plural of syzygy. Sylidae, an alignment of 3 celestial bodies, for example, the sun, earth, and moon, such that one body is directly between the other 2, such as occurs at an eclipse. Asi, says Cf. Sese. Shabo, a surname from Hungarian. Szabolcs Marbereg, an administrative county in northeastern Hungary. Szabos, plural of Szabo. Szakhamer, a surname. Szafran, a surname from Polish. Szafrans, plural of Szafran. Szafranski, a surname from Polish. Szafranskis, plural of Szafranski. Shalie, a monoclinic prismatic mineral containing boron, hydrogen, iron, magnesium, and oxygen. Gale, a surname from Hungarian. Jales, plural of Shalai, Shatatuli, a town in Greater Poland Voivodeship, Poland. Janton, a surname. Gierk, a surname from Polish. X, plural of Sherk. Shaskate, alternative name for Smithsonite. Cass, a surname. Shazin, of or relating to Thomas Shass, born 1920, psychiatrist and academic known for criticism of the moral and scientific foundations of psychiatry. Shatkowski, a surname from Polish. Shatkowskis, plural of Shatkowski. Tet, a surname from Polish. Tet, plural of Szech. Szczecin, a city in what is now Poland, the capital of West Pomeranian Voivodeship, Stettin. Szczecinek, a town in West Pomeranian Voivodeship, Poland. Szedezek, a village in what is now Poland, what was formerly Germany. Szczepaniak, a surname from Polish. Szczepaniaks, plural of Szczepaniak. Szczepanek, a surname from Polish. Szczepaneks, plural of Szczepanek. Szczepanski, a surname from Polish. Szczepanskis, plural of Szczepanski. Szczesniak, a surname from Polish. Szczesniaks, plural of Szczesniak. Getme, a surname from Polish. Szczecinis, plural of Szczesny. Shino, a town in Warmian-Nesurian Voivodeship, Poland. It, a Chinese surname from Cantonese. Jiup, synonym of sea. Jiup, synonym of sea. Sichuan, alternative form of Sichuan. Sichuan button, synonym of buzz button. Sichuan buttons, plural of Sichuan button. Sichuan lovage, Legisticum striatum sen, Ayacum striata tuingching. Sichuan pepper, alternative form of Sichuan pepper. Sichuan peppers, plural of Sichuan pepper. Sichuan, obsolete spelling of Sichuan. Sichuan, alternative form of Sichuan, a province in central China. Sichuanese, of or relating to the province of Sichuan in China. It, a city, the county seat of Szesongrád County, Hungary. Jekyll, alternative form of Shakely. Jackals, plural of shekel. Dately, alternative spelling of Shakely. Kekli, a member of a subgroup of the Hungarian people living mostly in the Shakely land in present-day Romania. Shekly land, alternative form of Shakely land. Shekly land, alternative form of Shakely land. Shakely land, a historic and ethnographic region in Romania, inhabited mainly by Shakleys, a subgroup of Hungarians. Shakely land, alternative form of Shakely land. Shakaliland, alternative form of Shakely land. Shakaliland, alternative form of Shakely land. Gateways, plural of Shakely. Jaguars, plural of Shakely. Székesfehérvár, a city in Hungary. Jakar, Shakely, a member of a subgroup of the Hungarian people living mostly in the Shakely land. Shekert, plural of Shekler. Shekstad, a city in Hungary. Hungary. Deos, a surname from Hungarian. Jalaya, a surname from Polish. Szalegas, plural of Shalega. Shemarati's theorem, a result in combinatorics, stating that every set of integers with positive natural density contains a k-term arithmetic progression for every k. Shemarati. A surname from Hungarian. Shemarati's law, a sound change in a synchronic phonological rule that operated during an early stage of the Proto-Indo-European language. The rule deleted codefricatives *s or laryngeals *h1, *h2, or *h3 covers symbol *h, with compensatory lengthening occurring in a word final position. Schenberg, a surname. Schenbergs, plural of Schenberg. Schenoxide, an orthorhombic dark green mineral containing copper, hydrogen, molybdenum, and oxygen. Szentendre, a town in Hungary. Kunz, a town in Hungary. Szentflorink, a town in Baranya County, Hungary. Szepinkai, synonym of Siping. That, plural of she. Shida, a surname from Cantonese. Shidas, plural of Shido. Shuksak, a surname from Polish in turn from Ukrainian. Shukse, a surname from Polish. Shukseks, plural of Shuksik. Shudov, synonym of sea. Tai, a member of a tribe in the Sadon area of the Burma-China frontier, closely related to Maru. Shiklai pair, a configuration of two bipolar transistors similar to a Darlington pair but having one NPN and one PNP transistor. Shiklai pairs, plural of Shiklai pair. Shikhoi, a surname. Shilade, a surname from Hungarian. Sheladeis, plural of Shilade. Shelar, a surname from Hungarian. Shillor-Chalmers effect, the breaking of a chemical bond as a result of a kinetic energy imparted from radioactive decay. Shillor-Chalmers effects, plural of Shillor-Chalmers effect. Shellards, plural of Shillard. Dyes, plural of Shy. Shkadak, a surname from Polish. Shkadaks, plural of Shkadak. Shlachsek, a Polish or Lithuanian nobleman. Shlachseks, plural of Shlachsek. Shlachta, nobility of Poland and Lithuania. Shlimovich, a surname from Polish. Schmeckite, a soft monoclinic mineral with the chemical formula MnSO H2O. Schmeckites, plural of Schmeckite. Alternative letter case form of SEN. Abbreviation of season. Plural of SAN. FNS, plural of SAN. Shut, a town in Pest County, Hungary, on the border with Slovakia. Sholozi, a surname from Hungarian. Sholosis, plural of Sholosi. Shalnai, a city in Hungary. Shambali, a city in Hungary. Shamalnakite, an iron sulfate mineral with chemical formula FeSO H2O. Shamalnakites, plural of Shamalnakite. Shandy tests. A personality test built on the basis of 8 drive needs, each corresponding to a collective archetype of instinctive action. Shandy tests. Plural of Shandy tests. Shandian, of or relating to Leopold Shandy 1893–1986, Hungarian psychiatrist and inventor of the Shandy test. Shopota, a Russian double-reed wind instrument similar in form to the zurna. Jostag, a surname. Yat, a surname. Dots, plural of Shoth. SCPD, initialism of schizoid personality disorder. Spiro's conjecture, a conjecture relating to the conductor and the discriminant of an elliptic curve, equivalent in a slightly modified form to the ABC conjecture. Schrakeite, a bismuth sulfur tellurium mineral. Shua, a surname from Polish. Shubas, plural of Shuba. Shubin, a town in Kievan Pomeranian Voivodeship, Poland. That's a surname from German. Tatis, plural of Shuch. Hugi, a village in Hungary. Shoas, a surname. Shydlowski, a surname from Polish. Shydlowskis, plural of Shydlowski. Shydlowik, a town in Masovian Voivodeship, Poland. Szymanowska, a surname. Szymanowski, a surname from Polish. Szymanowskis, plural of Szymanowski. Szymanska, a surname from Polish. Szymanski, a surname from Polish. Szymanskite, a hexagonal pyramidal mineral containing carbon, hydrogen, magnesium, mercury, nickel, and oxygen. Szymanskis, plural of Szymanski. Szymsak, a surname. Szymsaks, plural of Szymsak. Secular, archaic spelling of secular. Tefta, plural of septum. Septal, archaic form of septal. Septum, obsolete spelling of septum. Seer, obsolete form of cedar. Sunderland, a municipality in Inlandet, Norway. Sorensen-Dice coefficient, a statistic used to gauge the similarity of two samples. It is equal to twice the number of elements common to both sets, divided by the sum of the number of elements in each set. Sorensen-Dice coefficients, plural of Sorensen-Dice coefficient. Shirdak, a province in southeastern Turkey with a Kurdish majority. Słowacz, a town in Silesian Voivodeship near Katowice, Poland. Delano, various villages in Poland. Ewatk, a city in Pomeranian Voivodeship, Poland. Jevak, a village and municipality of Goranboy district, Azerbaijan. Censored spelling of shit. S-hole, censored spelling of shithole. St, censored spelling of shit. Est-hole, censored spelling of shithole. As, plural of st. St-ted, simple past and past participle of st. St-ting, present participle of st. It, the 20th letter of the English alphabet, called T and written in the Latin script. T and O ma, a type of medieval map of the world, representing only the top half of a spherical Earth. T and O maps, plural of T and O map. T-cab, alternative spelling of T-cab. T-cell, a lymphocyte from the thymus that can recognize specific antigens and can activate or deactivate other immune cells. T-cells, plural of T-cell. T-dance, alternative form of T-dance. T-dances, plural of T-dance. T-distribution, ellipsis of students' T-distribution. T-distributions, plural of T-distribution. T-dot, alternative spelling of T-dot. T-form, alternative form of T-form. T-formation, an offensive formation in which 3 running backs line up in a row about 5 yards behind the quarterback, forming a shape like the letter T. T-formations, plural of T-formation. T-forms, plural of T-form. T-helper cell, a helper T-cell. T-helper cells, plural of T-helper cell. T-level, a 2-year technical course taken after GCSE and equivalent to 3 A-levels developed to meet the needs of industry. T-level, abbreviation of testosterone level as a measure of a man's health. T-levels, plural of T-level. T-levels, plural of T-level. T-lymphocyte, a T-cell. T-lymphocytes, plural of T-lymphocyte. TAC, abbreviation of Truth or Consequences City in New Mexico. T-perm, a PLL case IEA case where the coobies of the last layer all have the last side color facing the last side, where a pair of opposite edge coobies and a pair of corner coobies that lie on either side of one of the wrong edges both need to be swapped. T-perms, plural of T-perm. T-pose, alternative form of T-pose. T-pose, simple past and past participle of T-pose. T-poses, plural of T-pose. T-posing, present participle and gerund of T-pose. T-Tauri star, any of a class of young visible stars having optical variability. They are often surrounded by a protoplanetary disk. T-Tauri stars, plural of T-Tauri star. T-tests, ellipsis of students' T-test. T-tests, plural of T-tests. T-tubule, one of the extensions of the cell membrane of striated muscle cells running in a transverse manner that permit the transmission of the action potential into the cell and regulate cellular calcium concentration. T-tubules, plural of T-tubule. T-wave, a wave on an electrocardiogram that represents the electrical changes generated by the repolarization of the ventricles. T&A, scantily clad women, or entertainment featuring scantily clad women. T&C, alternative form of T&CS. T&CS, abbreviation of terms and conditions. T and G, initialism of tongue and groove. T and GS, plural of T and G. T and I, initialism of translation and interpreting. T and S, initialism of trust and safety. The Northern England form of the most characteristic of Yorkshire, but also found in areas of Lancashire, Derbyshire, and Nottinghamshire. T as a yang, Alternative form of Tashang. Tiakalanakan. Alternative form of Takla Magan Taklanakan. Tia. Alternative form of Tayan. Taiju. Alternative form of Taiju, Jejong. Taitang. Alternative spelling of Taichung. Tair Tuan. Alternative form of Taershuang. Taialu. Alternative form of Tailu. Tainan. Alternative spelling of Tainan. Taihin. Alternative form of taping. Taijan. Alternative form of Taishan at county level city in Jiamen, Guangdong, China. Former county of Guangdong, China. Taiyang. Alternative spelling of Taidong. Taiwan. Alternative form of Taiwan Island. Taiya Lake. Alternative form of Tai Lake. Taiyapan. Synonym of Tai Lake. Taiyuan. Alternative form of Taiyuan. Taiyuan. Alternative form of Taiyuan. Tana. Alternative spelling of Taidong. Taiya Lake. Alternative form of Taiya Lake. Taiya Pan. Alternative form of Taiya Pond. Tira. Alternative form of Tang. Taiyan Vu. Alternative form of Tangu. Tiang Zan. Alternative form of Tangshan. Tiais. Pronunciation spelling of thanks. Tiaz Hang. Alternative form of Tao Chang. Tiaz Hang. Alternative form of Tenchong. Tigana. Abbreviation of Telangana. T-Garnsel. Alternative spelling of Top Halland Sale. T-Garnsels. Plural of T-Garnsel. Pini. A surname from Mandarin. Tainemen. Alternative form of Tannenmen. Tain. Alternative form of Tangen. Tain. Synonym of Tangen. Tangman. Alternative form of Tanmen. Tangman. Alternative form of Tanmen. Tin. Alternative spelling of T-Internet. Tinnet. Internet. Misspelling of Tis. T-Night. Alternative spelling of tonight. Tokoh soon. Alternative form of Chuoksun toxin. Alternative form of t'other. Tailsider. A person from the eastern states of Australia. Tailsiders. Plural of t'other cider. Plural of tea. T-Satsayasine. The Yellowknives, a First Nations tribe that lived in the region now occupied by the city of Yellowknife. Teolufan. Alternative form of Chalufan. Teumang. Alternative form of Tumen River. Tiyuan Fang. Alternative form of Tuan Fang. Tanikesai. Alternative form of Tungsi. Tianhue. Alternative form of Tanhua. Taoling. Alternative form of Tongling. Tianshan. Alternative form of Tanshan. Tiwaz. Misspelling of Twas. Tiwi. Alternative form of tween between. Tiwir. Misspelling of tweer. Pintraction of tu. TS slash threatened due to similarity of appearance to a species deemed threatened under the Endangered Species Act. T asterisk, representing the word transgender. T asterisk D, censored spelling of turd. T asterisk yes, plural of T asterisk RD. T asterisk T, censored spelling of tit. T asterisk yes, plural of T asterisk T. Bit, Thai, used to form nouns relating to the popular culture of Thailand. Teagath, a ledger with a debit column and a credit column. Teagaths, plural of T account. Tibak, a thong type of underwear. Tibaks, plural of T-back. T-ball, a form of baseball played by young children in which the batter hits a ball placed on a tee rather than being thrown by a pitcher. T-balls, plural of T-ball. T-bandage, a strip of roller bandage with another strip attached to its center at right angles, used to hold a dressing in place. T-bandages, plural of T-bandage. T-bar, a type of ski lift where skiers/snowboarders are dragged up the ski run while they slide along on their skis/snowboards on the slope. They hang onto a T-shaped bar, a crossbar handle, and a lead shaft linking to the drive cable. T-bar, spanner bar. T-barbs, plural of T-bar. T-bars, plural of T-bar. Tibin, a structural member with a cross-section shaped like the letter T. T-beans, plural of T-bean. T-bill, a treasury bill. T-bells, plural of T-bill. T-bird, a Ford Thunderbird. T-birds, plural of T-bird. T-bone, a T-bone steak. T-bone steak, a large beef steak containing a T-shaped bone. T-bone steaks, plural of T-bone steak. T-boned, simple past and past participle of T-bone. T-buns, plural of T-bone. T-boning, present participle and gerund of T-bone. T-box, synonym of pothead in electric motors terminal connection or wiring box. T-boxes, plural of T-box. T-boy, a nickname for a boy. T-boy, a trans man. T-boys, plural of T-boy. T-bray, abbreviation of tolerance break. T-butyl, synonym of tertiary butyl. T-butyls, plural of T-butyl. T-cab, abbreviation of Trans-Canada Highway. T-car, a backup car used by a driver whose main car has been damaged. T-gay, the generic designator for several digitally multiplexed signal carrier systems. T-carriers, plural of T-carrier. T-car, a four-wheeled open phaeton with 4 seats, its ground plan resembling the letter T. T-carts, plural of T-cart. T-cell, alternative spelling of T-cell especially when used in attributive position. T-cells, plural of T-cell. T-charge, a surcharge from 2017 to 2019 on top of the normal congestion charge for motor vehicles in London, England, and applicable only to older vehicles that generate more pollution. T-charges, plural of T-charge. T-canor, a binary function from 01 times 01 to 01, which, when given a b as input, returns 1 minus a t-norm of 1 minus a. 1 minus b. T-norms, plural of T-norm. T-crosser, a detail-oriented individual. T-crossers, plural of T-crosser. T-cushion, a cushion serving as the seat of an armchair designed to extend beyond the arms at the front. T-cushions, plural of T-cushion. T-nance, alternative form of T-dance. T-dances, plural of T-dance. T-day, Thanksgiving Day, Turkey Day. T-days, plural of T-day. E-day, the clitoris of a trans man, enlarged by masculinizing HRT. T-dicks, plural of T-dick. T-distribution, ellipsis of students' T-distribution. T-distributions, plural of T-distribution. T-DNA, transfer DNA. T-DNA, plural of T-DNA. T-not, the city of Toronto. T-for, a second-person pronoun used in informal situations to address friends, family, and sometimes inferiors. T-former, clipping of transformer. T-former, clipping of transformer. T-formers, plural of T-former. T-formers, plural of T-former. T-form, plural of T-form. T-girl, a trans woman. T-girls, plural of T-girl. T-glottalization, the pronunciation of the phoneme /T/ as a glottal stop in certain positions. T-group, an encounter group or similar group therapy method. T-groups, plural of T-group. T, a type of side valve arrangement. T-intersection, synonym of T-junction. T-intersections, plural of T-intersection. T-junction, an intersection of routes where one road terminates as it joins a usually higher priority road at approximately 90 degrees. In most countries, a give way or stop road sign will be seen at a T-junction. T-junctions, plural of T-junction. T-ma, an agent of the Treasury Department. T-maze, a simple maze used in animal cognition experiments, shaped like the letter T, providing the subject with a straightforward binary choice. T-mazes, plural of T-maze. T-man, plural of T-man. T-minus, specifies the remaining time until some future event such as a takeoff or encounter commences. T-more, a mathematical function T, 0, 1 times 0, 1 right arrow 0, 1 that is commutative, associative, monotonic, and the number 1 acts as identity element, that is TA, 1 equals A. T-norm fuzzy logic, any kind of fuzzy logic whose semantics evaluates conjunctions by means of T-norms. T-norm fuzzy logics, plural of T-norm fuzzy logic. T-norms, plural of T-norm. T-nut, any of 2 or more types of nut with a shape in profile suggesting the capital letter T. T-nuts, plural of T-nut. T-piece, a pipe connector which forms a junction in the shape of a T. T-pieces, plural of T-piece. Teva, alternative letter case form of teapot. Teva, Thai pop music. T-pose, a pose in which one stands rigidly with one's arms held out horizontally at shoulder height and parallel to the ground. T-pose, simple past and past participle of T-pose. T-poses. Plural of T-pose. T-posing. Present participle and gerund of T-pose. T-power. A form of phantom power microphone technology in which direct current is overlaid directly onto the signal in differential mode. T-powering. Synonym of T-power. T-prothesis. The prothesis of a T sound to words beginning with a vowel. T-row. Alternative form of T-row. T-raz. Plural of T-row. T-ray. An electromagnetic wave with a frequency intermediate between and sharing the properties of short radio waves and long infrared waves, generally in the 0.1 to 10 terahertz THz band of frequencies. T-rays. Plural of T-ray. T-rex. Alternative spelling of T-rex. T-rex. Alternative spelling of T-rex. T-rexas. Plural of T-rex. T-rexas. Plural of T-rex. T-room. Term public restroom used as a place for casual sex. T-section. Alternative form of flanged T-rail. T-sections. Plural of T-section. T8. A set of knowledge or skills that are both broad and deep. T-shaped. Having the shape of a capital T. T-shapes. Plural of T-shape. T-shirt. A lightweight shirt without buttons, usually with short sleeves and no collar, often made of cotton and frequently bears a picture or slogan. T-shirt bra. A bra designed to be inconspicuous when worn under a garment such as a T-shirt. T-shirt bras. Plural of T-shirt bra. T-shirt dress. A shirt dress resembling an elongated T-shirt. T-shirt dresses. Plural of T-shirt dress. T-shirtable. Short and quotable enough to be put on a T-shirt, suitable for putting on a T-shirt. T-shirted. Wearing a T-shirt. T-shirts. Plural of T-shirt. T-shirty. Resembling or characteristic of a T-shirt. T-spine. The thoracic spine. T-spines. Plural of T-spine. T-splice. A method of joining the end of a metal wire to the middle of another by twisting the first around the latter. T-splices. Plural of T-splice. T-SQL. Clipping of transact SQL. T-square. A rule with a short perpendicular crosspiece at one end, used by draftsmen to draw parallel lines. T-squares. Plural of T-square. T-state. A single clock pulse of a microprocessor. T-states. Plural of T-state. T-step. A shuffling dance move in which the feet are initially placed in an orientation like the letter T. T-steps. Plural of T-step. T-stop. A transmission stop, an alternative to an F-stop. T-stopped. Simple past and past participle of T-stop. T-stopping. Present participle and gerund of T-stop. T-stops. Plural of T-stop. T-storm. Abbreviation of thunderstorm. T-storms. Plural of T-storm. T-style. The consonant system of formal Samoan, differing from that of colloquial Samoan in a few particulars, among them the pronunciation of /t/st. T-symmetry. The theoretical symmetry of physical laws under the transformation of time reversal, :t::tt. T-tau. a type of aircraft that has the horizontal stabilizers situated atop or near the top of the vertical stabilizer. T-tails, plural of T-tail. T-desks, ellipses of students' T-tests. T-desks, plural of T-test. T-doth, an automobile roof with a removable panel on each side of a rigid bar running from the center of one structural bar between pillars to the center of the next structural bar. T-tops, plural of T-top. T-town, Tacoma, Washington, United States. T-tubule, alternative form of T-tubule. T-tubules, plural of T-tubule. T-unit, the shortest grammatically allowable sentence into which a piece of writing can be split. T-units, plural of T-unit. TV distinction, the distinction between a formal and an informal second-person pronoun in some languages. T-varieties, plural of T-variety. T-variety, algebraic geometry and algebraic variety equip the group action of an algebraic torus. T-wave, synonym of T-ray. T-waves, plural of T-wave. T-word, alternative letter case form of T-word. T-words, plural of T-word. T-zone, the forehead and nose considered together as a region of the face that can, in some people, produce excess sebum compared to other parts of the face. T-zones, plural of T-zone. Dip, alternative form of T. Dip, abbreviation of teacher's cam. Dip, alternative form of THC. Dip, alternative form of TOD. Dio, alternative form of TOD. Yes, plural of T. Yes, plural of TO. Adela, a barangay of Cebu City, Cebu, Philippines. Alternative form of TR. Alternative form of TRH. Rex, alternative spelling of T-Rex. T-Rex, abbreviation of Tyrannosaurus Rex. Rexet, plural of T-Rex. T-Rexes, plural of T-Rex. Initialism of teaching assistant. Des, plural of TA. TDA, initialism of thank God it's Friday. AHC, alternative form of THC. Eddie, 3 times a day. Ew, the city of Toronto. Teodi, alternative form of TOD. Teodi, alternative form of TOD. Teodiet, plural of TOD. Teodiet, plural of TOD. TRH, alternative form of TRH. As, plural of T. T/A, initialism of trading as. T/D, initialism of top of descent. T/O, abbreviation of throughout. T1, a type of serial line that transmits data at a rate of 1,544 or 1,536 kilobits per second. T1, such that, for any 2 of its points, there exist respective open sets containing each and not the other. T1 relaxation time. The total amount of time required for the net magnetization vector to recover to its ground state in the direction of the main static magnetic field. T1 relaxation times. Plural of T1 relaxation time. T14. The set of 14 law schools, which frequently take the top 14 spots in the yearly U.S. News and World Report ranking: the Columbia Law School, Cornell Law School, Duke University School of Law, Georgetown University Law Center, Harvard Law School, New York University School of Law, Northwestern University School of Law, Stanford Law School, UC Berkeley School of Law, University of Chicago Law School, University of Michigan Law School, University of Pennsylvania Law School, University of Virginia School of Law, and the Yale Law School. T1D. Initialism of type 1 diabetes. T1DM. Initialism of type 1 diabetes. T1s. Plural of T1. T2. A transit lane restricted to vehicles with a minimum of 2 occupants. T2. Such that any 2 points have disjoint neighborhoods. T2 relaxation time. The progressive dephasing of spinning dipoles which results in the decay of the magnetization in the transverse plane. T2 relaxation times. Plural of T2 relaxation time. T20. Abbreviation of 2020. T2D. Initialism of type 2 diabetes. T2DM. Initialism of type 2 diabetes. T2s. Plural of T2. T2T. Initialism of treat to target. T3. Abbreviation of Toyota Evening. T3H. Lead spelling of the T3s. Plural of T3. T4. Abbreviation of thioxine. T4s. Plural of T4. T4T. Of, pertaining to, or focused on relationships between trans people. T4T. Alternative letter case form of T4T. T4TS. Plural of T4T. T4TS. Plural of T4T. T9. A late 1990s predictive text technology by Tegic Communications for mobile phones with a 3x4 numeric keypad. Initialism of Territorial Army. Thanks. Ta Averso. Thanks a lot. Ta Kuling. An area of North District, New Territories, Hong Kong. Ta Muchley. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Ta-ta for now. See ya, laters, less formal version of au revoir or till we meet again. Alternative spelling of ta-ta. Ta-tu. Alternative form of tatu. Taroff. Alternative form of taroff. Simple past and past participle of ta. Simple past and past participle of ta. Alternative form of taken. Ta. Present participle and gerund of ta. Taz of or relating to Taiz, a city in southwestern Yemen. Third person singular simple present indicative of ta. Tasayachang. alternative form of taking oil field. Ta, used to present something intended to be surprising, impressive, or pleasing. Ta, alternative form of ta-da. Da, the 20th Surah chapter of the Quran. Ta-wai, dated form of Dali. Ta-we, alternative form of Dalian. Da, alternative form of Tara. Ta, alternative form of ta-ta. Ta-ta for now. Alternative form of ta-ta for now. Ta-ta theories. Plural of ta-ta theory. Ta-ta theory. A speculative theory that human language originated from using tongue movements to mimic manual gestures. Alternative spelling of ta-ta. Ta-tas. Plural of ta-ta. Ta-dang. Alternative form of da-dang. Tatsu. Kadbalik. Da-day. Alternative form of day. Initialism of thoracic aortic aneurysm. Synonym of letter 1 C3zu. Dal. Elongated form of tall. Habwa. A Bantu language spoken in Congo and Zambia. Acernin. A rare mode of gemstone with a hexagonal crystal structure. Tothets. Plural of Tophet. Tafs. Plural of Tof. Tadut. Alternative form of Taghut. Synonym of Satsatal. Talim. The study of the Quran. Alternative form of dawn. Tamiko. Alternative form of Taniko. Dans. Plural of Tan. Alternative form of Tar Persian string instrument. Tara. A genre of music popular in Tanzania and Kenya, influenced by the music of cultures with a historical presence in East Africa. Taraf. The intricate Persian system of etiquette and good manners, emphasizing extreme deference, humility, and respect, especially in politely declining to do something, quote a price on something one is selling, eat more food, etc., so that another person can talk one into it. Powers. Plural of tar. Plural of taa. Das. Abbreviation of transportation as a service. Plural of ta. Tastrup. A suburb of Copenhagen in Hovedstadsstrup municipality, Denmark. A key on a computer keyboard that typically inserts a tab or moves the input focus. Tab control. A control consisting of a number of screens tab pages that occupy the same visible space and can be selected by clicking a protruding tab. Tab controls. Plural of tab control. Tab index. A number assigned to a control on the display, designating its position in the sequence of controls that a user can move through by pressing the tab key. Tab indexes. Plural of tab index. Tab indices. Plural of tab index. Tab leader. In word processing, a series of repeated text characters filling the area of a tab stop, such as the row of periods slash dots leading to the name of a chapter in a table of contents. Tab leaders. Plural of tab leader. Tab nabbing. Alternative form of tab mapping. Tab order. The sequence in which a user can navigate from one control to the next by pressing the tab key. Tab orders. Plural of tab order. Tab out. To pay one's tab and leave a bar. Tab page. Any of the individual screens associated with a tab control. Tab pages, plural of tab page. Tab stop. On a typewriter, any of the horizontal locations where the carriage movement is halted by mechanical gears. Tab stops, plural of tab stop. Tab on Nort, a barangay of Tuba, Banked, Philippines. Tapeability, the property of being tapeable, i.e. reachable by tabbing. Terrible, reachable by tabbing. Tobacco, obsolete form of tobacco. Tobaccos, misspelling of tobaccos. Tabaki, alternative spelling of tobacco. Tabashir, alternative form of tabashir. Tabashir, alternative form of tabashir. Tabasen, a toxic glucoside found in tobacco. Tabacman, a surname. Tabacmans, plural of tabacman. Tabaki, alternative spelling of tobacco. Tabaco, a city in Albay, Philippines. Tabacosis, chronic tobacco poisoning, poisoning brought about by excessive use of or exposure to tobacco, especially the occupational disease from inhaling the dust in cigar and tobacco factories. Tada, a surname from Yiddish. Tabata, a surname from Polish. Tabakas, plural of tabaka. Adax, plural of tabak. Tattle, a region of southern central Anatolia during the Iron Age. Tabaldi, synonym of African baobab. Tabaldis, plural of tabaldi. Tabalian, of, from, or relating to tabal. Tabalians, plural of tabalian. Tabalumab, a human monoclonal antibody designed for the treatment of autoimmune diseases and B-cell malignancies. Taban Fundado, a barangay of Lebanon, Camarines Sur, Philippines. Tabangta, melancholy, or a painful feeling of unrequited love. Tabango, a municipality of Leyte, Philippines. Tabanohe, a barangay of Alangnalang, Leyte, Philippines. Tabanet, of or pertaining to species of the horsefly family, Tabanidae. Tabaneds, plural of tabanid. Tabanuco, synonym of candlewood, the tree Dacryodes excelsa. Tabanucos, plural of tabanuco. Tabar, a surname. Tabarcan, the dialect spoken in the Italian cities of Calazetta and Carloforte on Sardinia. Tabar, a silk banner attached to a bugle or trumpet. Tabarda, wearing a tabard. Tabarder, one who wears a tabard. Tabarders, plural of tabarder. Tabardillo, a form of murine typhus that occurs in Mexico. Tabards, plural of tabard. Tabers, a surname from Spanish. Taberses, plural of tabers. Tabaret, a strong fabric consisting of stripes of silk and satin. Tabarets, plural of tabaret. Tabarez, a surname. Tabertes, plural of tabarez. Tabaristan, a former region on the southern coasts of the Caspian Sea. Tabars, plural of tabar. Tabasaran, a Northeast Caucasian language spoken by the Tabasaran people who live in southern Dagestan. Tabasarans, plural of Tabasaran. Tabosir, alternative form of Tabashir. Tabaskir, alternative form of Tabashir. Tabasco, a state of Mexico. Tabasco pepper, a variety of chili pepper having a conical shape and a bitter and burning taste. Capsicum frutescens variety Tabasco. Tabasco peppers, plural of Tabasco pepper. Tabasco, season with Tabasco sauce. Tabascos, plural of Tabasco. Tabashir, a translucent white substance composed mainly of silica and water with traces of lime and potash obtained from the nodal joints of some species of bamboo and used in traditional Asian medicine. Tabashirs, plural of Tabashir. Tabashir, alternative form of Tabashir. Tabasaran, alternative form of Tabasaran. Tabasarans, plural of Tabasaran. Tabata, synonym of Tabata method. Tabata method, a form of high-intensity interval training consisting of 8 rounds of intense exercise performed for 20 seconds at a time with 10-second breaks. Taba, a female given name from Hebrew. Tabaksir, alternative form of Tabashir. A surname. Tabable, capable of being navigated or focused by means of the tab key. Tab, having a tab protruding strip of material. Tabbed out, simple past and past participle of tab out. Tabber, a device for applying an adhesive tab. Tabbers, plural of tabber. Tabber, a surname. Tabberts, plural of tabbert. Tab, simple past and past participle of tabby. Tabby, comparative form of tabby, more tabby. Tabbas, plural of tabby. Has, superlative form of tabby, most tabby. Tabiness, the quality of being tabby. Tabinat, archaic form of tabinat. Tabinats, plural of tabinat. Tabe, present participle and gerund of tab. Tabbing out, present participle and gerund of tab out. Tabbings, plural of tabbing. Tabule, alternative spelling of tabule. Tabule, a Levantine salad or mise generally consisting of bulgur wheat, chopped tomatoes, parsley, olive oil, and lemon juice. Tabules, plural of tabule. F, plural of tab. Tabugan, a barangay of Claveria, Cagayan, Philippines. F, a diminutive of the female given name Tabitha. Tabby cat, synonym of tabby. Tabby cats, plural of tabby cat. Tabby parties, plural of tabby party. Tabby party, a social meeting of women for tea and gossip. Tabby star, a star in Cygnus constellation, Milky Way galaxy, a star that dramatically dimmed in an odd non-repeating pattern that was suspected to be due to a partial Dyson swarm, indicating an extraterrestrial megastructure construct and thus a sign of intelligent aliens. Tabahood, the state of being adult female tabby. Te, present participle and gerund of tabby. Hede, synonym of bitumen. Tabelia, any of the plants in the genus Tabuia. Tabuias, plural of Tabuia. Tabfaction, a gradual loss of flesh due to disease. Tabfactions, plural of tabfaction. Tabethai. Simple past and past participle of tabethai. Tabethais. Third person singular simple present indicative of tabethai. Tabethai. Tamazate. Tabething. Present participle and gerund of tabethai. Hewa. Stable or shed for horses, cows, etc. Tabella. A medicated lozenge or hard electuary. Table. Plural of tabella. Tabori. Tabular. Tabalian. An official scribe who had some of the minor functions of a notary in the Roman Empire and pre-revolutionary France. Tabalians. Plural of Tabalian. Tabor. A surname. Tabor. Alternative form of tabard. Tabardar. Obsolete form of tabarder. Tabardars. Plural of tabardar. Tabards. Plural of tabard. Tabor. Simple past and past participle of tabor. Taboring. Present participle and gerund of tabor. Taborlongan. A barangay of Maluso, Basilan, Philippines. Taberna. A barangay of Boang, La Union, Philippines. Tabernacle. A place name in the United States. Tabernacle work, ornamental work over niches, stalls, etc. with canopies and pinnacles or any work having these as a characteristic feature. Tabernacle. Containing or having a tabernacle. Tabernacular. One who attends or preaches at a tabernacle, that is, a temporary place of Christian worship. Tabernaclers. Plural of tabernacular. Tabernacles. A particular Jewish holiday, coming each autumn. Tabernacling. Present participle and gerund of tabernacle. Tabernacular. Pertaining to a tabernacle. Tabernamentine. A naturally occurring monoterpene indole alkaloid found in several species in the genus Tabernaemontana, including Tabernaemontana divaricata. Tabernary. Ancient Roman comedies dealing with the life of the lower classes. Tabernus. Plural of taberna. Tabors. Plural of tabor. Tabersonine. An indole alkaloid present in Catharanthus roseus. Hebs. A kind of slow bodily wasting or emaciating disease often accompanying a chronic disease. Tabes dorsales. Plural of tabes dorsalis. Tabes dorsalis. Tabes of the back, a degeneration of the sensory neurons of the spinal cord carrying afferent information. Tabes mesenterica. Tuberculosis affecting the mesenteric lymphatic system. Tadsence. The state of being tadscent. Tabescent. Wasting away or becoming emaciated. Tabsa. Synonym of Upper Tanana. Tabitha. A female given name, variant of Tabitha. Tabatic. Of or pertaining to Tades. Tabatics. Plural of tabatic. Tabatiform. Resembling or characteristic of Tabes. Tabhatch. Synonym of Chuoba. Tabai. A barangay of Boque, Marinduque, Philippines. Alternative form of tabia. Tabas. Plural of tabia. Tadhawan. A barangay of Isabela, Basilan, Philippines. Tababai. A surname from Arabic. Hada. Of or pertaining to Tabes. Taba. A barangay of Ozamis, Misamis Occidental, Philippines. Tatavatli, in a tabid manner with regard to Tabes,